All right, that should be better. All right, that's much better, I think. All right, that's much better, I think. Turn that down a little bit. Good. Sure. Sound settings. We'll do the webcam microphone because it's probably better. I mean, I could wear headphones, but I don't really need that. All right. We're going to use the webcam microphone because it's probably a better microphone. All right. Whoever's watching, comment something so I can see the chat's working. Alright, just posting links to the live stream, and then we're gonna clean up, and then we're gonna work on the bike. Alright, let's see. I'm going to throw this up on Colorado Dirt Bikers. Zero Official, Denver OPV, other guys, more groups. Wilson, friends groups. No, I want my groups. I just want to see my groups. Here we go. Oh, that's a ghost town. Let's see. Let's see, this one's more active. Build time, yeah, dude. Come on, you gotta check out that sexy bike. Oh Lord, it's so good. It's so good. I'm just throwing up the link on a couple pages and stuff. Make it go burr. Dirt bikes go burr. Alright, almost done. Almost done. Then I can actually clean up a little bit and then we'll work on the bike. I'm taking the whole thing's coming apart today, so it should be kind of interesting. Gotta send it to, let's do family group chat. We'll get some of the family in here. Alright, got that. That's good. And one more. All right. Well, look at that friggin' build table. It's trash. It's trash, and I should be ashamed. All right, we're gonna clean up a little bit. Get some YouTube going. What are we watching on YouTube? Let's get some. I'm working on dirt bikes today, right? So we should probably do dirt bike stuff. All right. All right.
I know that from my whole life, on a personal level, I was super jealous of my brother, and he was way better than me.
I'm energetic.
Oh, dude, Hunter, this weekend makes his debut.
Please, Lord, let him just do what he's capable of, because the kid is so rad.
Please, sweet baby Jesus, with the tuxedo t-shirt. Please let my Hunter Lawrence do real well this weekend. That kid is so good. He's so nice. He's been working so hard, and geez, his little baby brother is a freak. A freak.
I messaged, I got to meet with him and Jet at Intense Cycles in Temecula.
Oh, sick.
And they're Intense Cycles ambassadors, and
I didn't know.
yeah, dude, they're rad. I think that company has two of the best moto guys in the world, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it was him, Darren, Johnny, and Jet, the the five of us, and we were setting up their new XC bikes. And just like the diversity between those brothers, like we talked about it at lunch, like I have a younger brother, you have an older brother, younger, sorry, and it's like having the difference in them, you know, in all of us, but like the same.
Yeah.
And I just like, I want any athlete to perform that to their capabilities. And I think Hunter's had that fair shake.
Yeah.
Like his first year on that Geico bike, the bike was a turd. He says he's ready. Like he messaged me back. I'm like, "Are you ready for this weekend? Good luck." He's like, "I'm ready, man. It should be good." So like, let's just like Hunter is gonna step out of that shadow of his little brother that he made. Like it's a weird dynamic, and I think they navigate it the best they can. And he's his own person.
Yeah.
And I think he looks just as good as Jet on the bike in his own way.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, you've got contrasting styles, you've got contrasting personalities, but from the same family, and they're very close, and they spend a lot of time together. And the funny thing with that family is that Hunter's the big brother.
Yeah.
Like Jet is the little brother in that situation in terms of the dynamic and whether or not that changes on the track or whether that changes in terms of results. But in terms of like the family structure, Hunter is staying inside. And it's like, so, I mean, I don't know that I can speak on that. I know that for my whole life, on a personal level, I was super jealous of my brother. And he was fucking way better than me. And it came way easier to him. And I tried harder. And I probably wanted it more. And my little brother always smoked me. And I never, I repeat, I never got over it. So, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm saying that as a C-class dude.
I think
It's
he's
like-
got a hall pass, but it's gonna run out soon because I don't think he's got to race his brother heads up. In his eyes, he hasn't raced him heads up healthy. Right? At some point, he's got to be like, well, he's better because he stays healthier longer. But right now, I think in his head, he's like psychologically thinking, he hasn't raced me at my best. Right? Like Paula this year, or was it last year? Like 2019?
Yeah.
When him and AC are going for it. Like
He looked phenomenal.
and that bike was a turd. Like that bike was not good then. Like Geico was going. So like Hunter's performances on that bike in that era, like isn't what Geico's bike was last year, or is what the same engine builder with Ryan Cox went to HRC. So like the package they have now is better than the turmoil that team was going through when Hunter first came over, right? So it's interesting to see if Hunter can, if he thinks that way, I agree, right? Like Jet hasn't raced Hunter heads up, but the best thing for Hunter is his only reference probably to lights class speed is his brother who's winning and is the fastest. So if he's saying he's ready on some VM to me, he knows he's ready because he's comparing his speed to Jet. That could be a blessing and a curse, right? Like, there's nothing worse than you're competing against someone you know you're not even in the same league.
Yo, what's up?
He knows he's in the same league. And I think there's going to be a few guys
Got
that
here.
race.
Laying out some parts.
I think Justin Cooper's going to challenge Hunter. I think.
Yo, if it's an audio nightmare, just let me know, alright?
Mark.
Check these out though.
Wait, can you pull up the West Coast slides?
Golden hose
First,
clamps.
and we'll have a little bit of a
That's not
sauce.
that bad. Here, let's see over here.
But man, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you got
Golden
Hunter
hose clamps.
training day in and day out.
Cause
Yeah.
I'm bougie
You're
like
gonna
that.
know, like that is the reference point. That's the yardstick of what speed is in 2021. And if you can be within Kui of Jet's lap times, like his best lap times, and if you can be within Kui of him on the practice track together, you're going to the first race of the West Coast Lights Series knowing that you can win.
Yeah.
And that has to be massive for Hunter.
Unbelievable. And then having Johnny Amara in your corner, like his diet's better. He's got his stuff. He's got his intestinal problems figured out. Like they're so different. Like he said, Jet can have is like a garbage disposal, eat what he wants, donuts, whatever. Hunter can't. His body doesn't perform like that. So they've done their homework in this camp, and I think it's now. It's not. I shouldn't say now or never, but like it's a pivotal year for
I
Hunter.
forgot to get the right
Oh,
hose.
dude, I think it is a
Fine.
very important year for Hunter to like just on so
I
many
wish this
levels
TV
too, like,
had
even just, like,
Peacock
team
on it. I
dynamic,
could
but
watch
just
the
think personally for him to know.
motocross race.
And
How do
the
you
thing
get caught
is,
up?
too, I don't think that any of us like we're as in the general sense of the sport. Like obviously we have dealings with them when they were just kids, but for the majority of people, that this is like a new thing on their radar. And then last season we saw them together at Salt Lake for a couple rounds, and then all of a sudden this year Jets win, and then Hunter's about to make his debut in a lot of people's eyes almost. But it's like, hey, Hunter's been dealing with this little shit his entire life. He's known since Jet was on a 60 that Jet doesn't really care in the same way that Hunter does. This whole riding thing comes way easier. Like he puts in almost no effort and can do technique perfectly, whereas Hunter's like zeroing in on it. So Hunter's been prepared for this kid his entire life. And I mean, what's happening right now with Jet being this like new superstar in the sport, Hunter's probably known it was gonna happen all along. So like we're freaking out about like how does Hunter feel? Like is he gonna be able to deal with it? Man, Hunter's probably already over it.
Yeah.
In terms of
How
he's been
rad
through this.
if he had a butt patch to what brother? Or like not Jet.
Baby
or
brother.
Baby, like something just to have a stab, right? 'Cause-
Yeah.
But but that's once again, that's not his style. Like Hunter's his own man, and I think we haven't, as the global market, like hasn't seen Hunter for who he is. Like even like well, everyone, I don't think Australia's even seen it because he's left that section. He left at 15, and he's been the best people have seen Hunter on a global stage via the MXGP, not Australian motocross, supercross, or American soil. I think we've had glimpses of it here in Australia and glimpses of it in America, but this is the year that I think we're going to really see what Hunter Lawrence has to offer.
No, I totally agree, and I am excited for you, boy. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. To listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favourite podcast platform or click the link in the description below.
I mean, I could. I don't know if the computer could handle that. I could try. I'm trying, right? Let's see if the computer can handle this. Is this not loading? It's loading. There we go. Sports. Supercross.
Off to work. I'm gonna grab groceries on my way home. So I might be a little bit late.
Okay.
But that's for grocery reasons. I will keep you updated with everything.
Okay.
Are you ready to stream here right now?
Yeah.
Hello! Oh, I thought you were gonna open the garage.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Bye.
Bye.
Great ride, and it's not over for third. Rock.
Good job, Peacock.
Last week he's down, and I text Will Hahn, are we good to go? He says no, he's got a good week, so we're fine. I'm wondering,
Did he get hit by Cianciarillo? Is that something? I heard something happen. Like he went down and he got hit, and I don't know exactly what happened. I didn't see it, but man.
well, he's flying, and he's with Ashley now, fastest qualifier in the 450s.
Yeah, the fastest indeed, and the first time on the 450 for Dylan Ferrandez. We saw you do this a lot on the 250. First of all, Dylan, how are you feeling after last Saturday night, and what do you like about the track?
Honestly, it's hard. My left side is really bruised and painful, but yeah, nothing serious, so I can ride. But yeah, kind of have to ride a little bit with the pain. Yeah, last Saturday, small mistake, small crash, but just at a bad spot, and AC couldn't do anything. He hit me, and was hard. But Yeah, we work hard this week with the team. Obviously, last weekend we did a lot of change on the bike, and we couldn't really see on the track because I didn't ride in the main event. But yeah, a lot of change on the bike. The team and I work so hard to try to get the best bike as possible, and especially with me, like it's my first season 450, so need to learn, need to try a lot of stuff. But it's good to be there. You remember me the good old 250 days, so it's really happy to be top spot right now. But yeah, track is definitely really sketchy, and we'll see on the next qualifying how is it.
Well, guys, it looks like he made the right changes on the bike this week. Dylan Ferrandis on top.
He said it was sketchy. I thought he looked,
he looked great.
Really, really good. Track crew is out there trying to fix some things up a little bit. And what I like is you see the moisture right there in the soil. It's in there. It is hard packed, but their job now is to kind of mix it all up and make sure it kind of stays loose so they can get the moisture inside. Otherwise, it'll just kind of be slick on top. So I think you'll see them doing this throughout the day. And right there before the triple, they've been on this one a couple different times now. So try to make sure you have the right traction right there. It's not too slick, because that's one of the water spots. That's where the tarps, you know, when they take the tarps and take them off, they kind of go from tarp to tarp, try to get everything off to the side. But there are spots where it does sit on the track. That was one of them, and you can see they're trying to mix it into the hard dirt. And you know, I talked to Alex last week about that. He said that was the big challenge, is getting that soft stuff mixed in with the hard stuff, so it's kind of one, because they were dealing with two different types of soil that really wasn't taking together. So big challenge for them. They're up to the challenge, and they do a great job. But I think that's what we're going to see a lot of throughout the day, and especially when we go into the nighttime before it gets dark. Just making sure that these two different types of soil really connect and come together. That way we have optimal racetrack.
Yeah, and you know, hats off to Dirtworks as always for everything they do and how hard they work. And you know, changing the track, that was a tough decision I think they had to make, along with Veld and AMA and everybody deciding whether they're going to completely take this down or rebuild it. And Ashley knows a little bit more about that.
Yeah, just talking about the soil and how it's starting to mix together, especially with how bright the sun is today. If you look behind me, this is what's happening with these riders. Obviously, it didn't affect the A riders so much because they were tripling over this, but you see the ruts at the bottom, and then at the very top from them casing it or the takeoff, it's getting a lot of cupped holes on these takeoffs, and I think that's going to be the challenge for them. They have this hard pack on these faces of these jumps, and it's going to change each and every lap in a completely different way.
Yeah, and you're battling two things at once, right? You have the ruts, you have a lot of traction in certain areas, but then you also have a kind of a dry, slick face on some. So it's that balance between being aggressive and having throttle control. And that's why I like the hard pack tracks, because you have to be balanced. You can't just come out of the corners and pin it. You got to really pay attention. And I think it takes more mental focus because you're having to do two things at once: attack, and you're also having to, you know, be patient, throttle control, especially on the 450s. These guys they're up for the challenge. They're the best in the world at it, but that is their challenge, is just balancing that throttle control with their want and need to be aggressive at all times. Let's take a break. You're watching Race Day live from Orlando, Florida. We'll be right back with more 450 qualifying action.
RockyMountainATVMC.com has the largest selection of dirt bike parts, apparel, and accessories. 100% employee owned and operated, they have 2 state-of-the-art facilities that ensure your order ships quickly and accurately. Visit their industry-leading website for the lowest prices, biggest inventory, and free 3-day delivery. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
So many things to do when you want to shine among the legends.
Can't stop, won't stop till we on top. Quick, I think not. Coming hot for the #1 spot, yeah. Big threes when I take my shot, hey. On the rise, and we ain't gon' drop on the grind. It's our time, just watch.
Monster Energy Supercross 4. Leave your mark.
Race Day live from Orlando, Florida, Camping World Stadium. This is 450 qualifier #1 for the B group. Dan, the track crew is just too good. They said it'd be about 5 minutes, and it was in 3, and then here they are. They're that good.
They're that good, and they've had a lot of practice, and it was, again, kind of a stressful week, a little bit trying to make those decisions. Once they did, I think they settled in and figured it out, and again, watching your breakdown, talking to Alex, and just all the things they put into it, all the work that goes into it, and all the thought process is just fascinating to me.
Big gambles too. I think, look, when they put the tarp on, it's a big deal to pull it off and put it back on. So they have to make the decision at the right time of when are we going to expose the track to everything. And they gambled last week. They felt that the weather was going to push north. They took it off early. It was a great gamble. It worked out. This week, obviously, a little different. I was kind of bummed because yesterday, it's media day. You have the 250 West starting out. I wanted to see them all on the track and kind of warming up like we got to see in Houston.
Yeah.
But it was brutal yesterday. I mean, a couple different times, so had to kind of pass it up. But then once they knew today was in the clear, they got it off early to get the sun on it. And again, they create a new challenge for themselves, which is getting the moisture back into it because it's pretty dry on top. But
gotta love Florida,
calculated
man.
risks for them on when they make those decisions, right?
Yeah, and it's been great here, the weather in Florida, and just great to be out racing in the sun. And even last week when it looked like it was going to be so devastating in terms of rain, it cleared up, got real nice, and we had a beautiful night into the evening. So pretty cool to see that happening again.
Freddie Norn put it in the main last Saturday night.
Yep.
It's a good ride for him. You can tell that was coming. I mean, speed has not really been the issue with Freddie. He can throw him down, but just putting it together for multiple laps has always been the challenge for him. And in that LCQ, he was up in that top four battle. He had Brock Tickle coming through the pack, and I mean, you have to just wonder, can he do them and keep clicking the laps, and he does. And a huge accomplishment for him. Again, after having a rough Houston, Indy was a little bit rough as well. And to go to Orlando 1, which is round 7, last Saturday night, and get in the main event. Huge night for Freddie Norn.
Yeah, again, here just to welcome, here arriving at Peacock Premium, Daniel Blair, Dan Hubbard here for Race Day Live. We're looking at the first round of qualifying for the 450 Group B. We have the 450As out there. Combined scoring for Randis up on top, followed by Webb, Roxon, Cianciarulo, Buskin, Osborne, and they'll be coming up a little bit later for their second round of qualifying. Alex Ray up in the mix right now.
How about Max Anstey? I know you're really happy to have him back.
He's such a good dude.
And I'm bummed that he didn't get to start the season and get those reps in.
Yeah.
But for the HEP Suzuki team and everyone at Twisted Tea, they got to be pumped to have Max back. And I am, man. This guy's attitude is so awesome. He came here, he wanted to race Supercross. He took a gamble on himself, missed last year with an injury, and I know he was super bummed about it. But Dan, I know you like this guy. He's got a great attitude. He's a great interview. And it's good to have him back.
Just one of the most excited dudes at the beginning of the season, right? You could tell at the press conference there was some pressure, and this guy, his attitude was so good, and outdoors is so great. The GP is so great and so comfortable there, and I love that he wanted to push himself. That's his thing. I want to go to Supercross. He had talked about that, like Dominique, about being in another country and watching, and just kind of this pinnacle, this dream of going to Supercross. And he wanted to get into it last year, like you said, couldn't, gets out this year, gets all ready to rock, and then hurts his back, I think like a week and a half, right? Or just a week before the kickoff round in Houston. And so just, I mean, heartbreak for him, heartbreak for all of us, really. So great to see him back up and at it, coming all the way from England, and talks about kind of that weight, not weight he's carrying, but the excitement to carry England into Supercross, and how I don't think anyone's ever won Supercross from England, is what he said. I mean, we have Dean Wilson from Scotland, so UK represented, but Max Anstey is up on top now, looking good. 53.367 for Max Anstey.
Looks like we have a rider down on that rhythm section. The red cross flag is out. The red flag is not out just yet. He's with the Alpine Star Medic, and it looks like the red flag is now coming out. So this one is going to come to a stop. Looks like, is it Enticknap might be the one. I think it's Enticknap down. Yeah, that's why Max was looking and probably pointing to his team. That's a bummer too. These team riders, they spend so much time together. They become friends. It's outside of just the track, and it's a very difficult one, especially for Max. Again, trying to focus on your own night, but then you have a teammate go down like that. That's very difficult. These guys are very close.
Anytime, but especially your teammate, some you've worked with and trained with, and they did a lot of work before the season, especially when Max got hurt. He was there rooting him on, and being part of it. So that's a tough break. But the 34 up on top, man. He's not a whole lot of time elapsed, a little less than half there. So he'll get his chance out there, and he'll be back.
Looks like Alex Ray, too, is in second in this group, so it's good to see Alex Ray back. Talked to Buddy Antonez last night about Alex. That's one of his students and riders, and he says Alex is one of the best he's ever had. Just literally listens very closely, tries to do whatever he says. He's a good student, and it's good to see A-Ray back. It's also good to see Max right now talking to the team right now, probably trying to get a little insight on some of the things that he saw out there. Again, normally you'll run the full 10 minutes and it's fast, it's over before you know it. So to have half of this done gives these guys an opportunity to maybe talk to their mechanic, maybe make an adjustment, but also very difficult when it's your teammate who happens to be down. That's a tough distraction.
Well, and we know that Alpine Star's medical team is so great, man. We talk about them every week, and we're going to continue when they're needed. They do such an amazing job, and I know Adam's got to be relieved on some level when you have that kind of experience and that kind of protection around you. People who take their job so seriously and studied for so many years medical science, and they've been around this sport for so many years. So it's a great thing that we have our own first responders in Alpine Star's medical team to help out.
They do a wonderful job. Let's take a break. We'll come back with more Race Day Live in a moment.
Rocky Mountain ATV MC, retailer, distributor, manufacturer, product developer, parts tester. This is what we do. But who we are is something much simpler. We're riders, like you. Some of the best things in life, like family, friendship, and freedom, we share because we ride. Whether it's track or trails, pavement or dirt, at the shop or at home, we are riders everywhere we go in everything we do. It's the common ground we share, and it's what keeps all of us moving forward together. During times where what you do says everything about who you are, we are proud to be this. 100% employee owned and operated, a company built by riders, entirely for riders. Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Winning a title here means everything.
The Mecca of amateur nationals is the biggest amateur national in the world, without a doubt.
It's just the prestige. It's a family vacation. It's the atmosphere. Once you get here, it gets in your blood and you want to keep coming.
Monster Energy, Loretta Lynn's 40th. Be there.
Seatbelts.
Supercross is teaming up with St. Jude Children's Hospital. The new Text to Donate campaign is called We Won't Stop, and we captured athletes in the new t-shirts last week during media sessions. Raised over $600,000 for the children at St. Jude the past 3 years, and are eager to continue our support of St. Jude's mission, finding cures, saving children. Text SUPER to 785-833 or visit stjude.org/supercross to donate. And for more information, 450 Group B qualifier number 1 is getting ready to take back off. The good news is Adam Enticknap was able to get up and walk to the cart.
Great news.
That is huge. It's a tough situation for a rider, especially for their friends and family who may have been watching, wondering if he's okay. Probably going to be a tough day for him, but to see him get up and be able to walk over there, that's a real good sign.
Absolutely, man. Again, Alpine Star's medical team, such a great job they do, and just so much experience. They have a state-of-the-art medical rig right outside the tunnel there, and anytime someone needs them, they're the first ones to jump on there right after the track crew. Track crew doing a great job, well, getting out in harm's way if they have to be to protect these riders, to get the bikes off and get the riders off and safe until the Alpine Star's medical team can get there. So little bit of a restart. We got 6 minutes back on the clock. We'll let them go and try and push their way up into the A group as far as they can. Anstey up in there in 20th right now.
Yeah, leader of this class puts himself 20th overall, right behind Justin Barsha, ahead of Kyle Chisholm, A-Ray, Ronnie Stewart, Starling, all right there, kind of in that top 5 in this group. And it's a bump for Antiknap as well. He's been having a good season. I've really liked the way he's been riding this year, big developments and big changes to the way he rides. I talked to him before the season. He said he trimmed up a little bit and has really been focused on finding technique, ways to get better, ways to get faster. And he had a strong start to the season, so hopefully this is just a hiccup and we can get Adam back as quick as possible and he can continue pushing here in 2021 because it's been a good start to his season.
Yeah, that'd be great. He talked about Weston Pike and numerous other people. And again, almost like Ken Roxon, not just about getting around the track, but your mind. Rounds coming in, but glad to be back up and at it. And there's Max again, 34. Twisted T, HEP Suzuki.
Really like that team. Fun team. They work hard. Dustin Pipes does a good job over there. Again, they got Adam Antiknap, Max Anstey, Brandon Hartraff. You know, they put in a lot of work for the Suzukis. They've really pushed that bike and found ways to make it better. All the riders really stoked on their bikes. So, good team. Based out of Central California in that Fresno area. Supercross, which was a fun little scrimmage race that the HEP guys did with the Smart Top Bullfrog Spas team. And, you know, just get these guys all in a group together, do some heat races, some main events, just get those reps in. You talk to Justin Brayton about how
I'm just going to turn that off.
the next guys do that. They
We're going to leave the mic on.
Justin would always go and ride with those guys. And it's important to be around a good team of people, especially people that you can work with and push. Push them, they push you, and we would do that.
That's bad too. Oh my God. Okay, I think that's good.
Yeah, and this guy also with some experience again, kind of doing Supercross here, but
yeah, that's better.
From the outdoors, and he's going to learn from that one too.
Yeah, those happen. We saw Jet Lawrence last week pass maybe one of the goofiest followers ever. He went on to win the main.
Yeah, it's so hard to last.
So, and you know, there's a lot going on in your mind. Sometimes you're thinking, okay, I'll set up for my next lap, and then you hit a little wet spot and you tip over. And it's funny, they're the best in the world, and they still have little silly tip overs that make you go, what? I'm going to bet me here, how are we going to do that? Well,
I guess you're kind of supposed to use special hose for fuel line, aren't you?
I've got 4 days riding in this week. Yeah, I tried riding last week, Monday, I think, and just couldn't really ride. Did a few laps and ended up going home pretty bummed out.
Nope, doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm back on the bike, got 4 days.
Stuck with the old stuff. That's fine.
Starting to go out on the TV, watching these guys race, and yeah, I was unfortunate in Houston, but I feel like I made the best of it. Been training a lot.
All right.
Lost 9 pounds, so a little bit skinnier.
So the radiators have to come off. Yeah, I just got to take them off.
Yeah, it was kind of deliberate. I felt like I was not but pretty thick the first few rounds, and just my diet wasn't very good. And now going back and looking back, I feel so much better now, just eating cleaner. Didn't really do much, just cut a few things out of my diet, and yeah, lost 9 pounds in 2 weeks, and I feel super good on the bike and a lot of energy, which was kind of my goal. I don't want to lose weight and lose energy, but yeah, I feel really good, and yeah, just been studying and put a lot of work in off the bike. Obviously, I've done a lot of intervals, a lot of new training with my new trainer, Peter Park. So looking forward to getting back racing.
How is the shoulder? Is it a pain tolerance thing now, or are you kind of past that to where now it's just a mobility? Like, what would be holding you back right now?
Let's go in.
It wasn't broken, it wasn't torn. I had a bone bruise in my scapula and a rotator cuff strain. So for me, it was just trying to get strength back in, and the whole time it was really frustrating because I've been doing everything possible to get back to racing, and it just hasn't been working out that well. And finally this week we had a breakthrough week and was obviously back on the bike, and yeah,
There you
so
go.
I was pretty sore today since riding 4 days, but yeah, I'm excited and just a lot happier to be back riding. It's crazy. The lifestyle goes, it's way different not riding. So yeah, really excited and happy to be here watching it, and hopefully to learn some more stuff coming into Daytona.
Pumped to have you back, Max. Anstey is the fastest in this one at 53.3. There's A-Ray, Alex Ray, Justin
Can I
Starr,
fit?
Harlan Garner, Ronnie Stewart rounding up the top 5 for 400 to be their first qualifier. And Chase, we go back to that night. Man, if you don't go down right there, you might win the thing by 10 seconds. You were flying that night. What can you take now that you've kind of experienced that and look back on this crash right here? What did you learn in this moment? Again, the speed, no question, it's there. The man in 450 class is wild. And what did you learn in Houston?
Yeah, looking at that crash, man, I've been watching the races every weekend, and I probably watched that crash, I don't know, 25 times. So for me, like,
Oh, God.
that night was going super good. One mini race, pulled 3 hole shots.
Gotta take off my friggin' radiator louvers. Okay, fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's great. I love it. Of course, Peacock can't hold their shit together so that I can watch qualifying while I'm working. Alright, I might put on the Ciotti drone stream. That doesn't carry over a lot with motocross, but hey, it's my goddamn stream. I can do what I want with it. Let's see, dismiss. Let's try again.
It looks like you guys really got that thing working well. It looks stable, it looks comfortable. And again, maybe that's why you were letting it go, because it just felt good.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the bike's been working really well. Kenny's been winning a lot on it, and obviously he's been winning championships. So
these guys apart.
just trying to change lines and not be stuck in that one rut is kind of the one thing I've learned. People have been really good at changing lines and adapting to the track. I think is the biggest part of learning after around 10 minutes. So that's what I've been focusing on, and especially at the practice track. It's pretty easy to do the same line every lap, but for me, I've been trying to mix it up and trying to replicate that race scenario. So yeah, just kind of working on racing longer races. 20 minutes. It's only 5 minutes longer than 2D race, but it feels like eternity. So yeah, just trying to learn and being on the track, just trying to get better doing it.
That. The dentist kit. Screwdriver. Small screwdriver.
Definitely. Yeah, it's really easy on the practice track to go after lap times every lap, and it gets monotonous trying to chase one lap time. So for me, it's actually more fun changing up lines and trying to explore on the track, doing different
One.
lines, and just trying to cut down on formats where you normally wouldn't normally during the week. So it's been fun mixing it up, and obviously I have really good trainers, Chris, Evan, and Stuart. So we've been working a lot, and yeah, I've been going over to his house to watch the races after the Sunday after and kind of dissect that. And yeah, like I said, just trying to be creative when it comes to down to the last 10 minutes or so. The track gets pretty beat up. The four minutes have a lot of power. So yeah, the track gets really deteriorated even though it starts pretty quick. So yeah, just trying to soak up this lunch and get better every day. I know you and James Stewart have obviously built a good relationship, communication, and it's all great, right? But is it still kind of weird sometimes when you're like,
All right.
Supercross with Stu?
Boom.
James, Stu, is there still a little bit of that weird factor when you're sitting next to him? Even though, again, the relationship is really good, like, it's still James Stewart. Yeah, like you said, it's cool to be have a program with him and kind of be partners in something that it's just really cool to have him by my side. And we've actually grown pretty good friends. We have similar interests. We like playing golf, and he's actually, it's crazy. Like now that I look at him, I don't look at him as James Stewart. I just look at him a guy that he's a super down to earth and super. It's pretty humbling how cool he is with how much he's accomplished in the sport. So yeah, we've been pretty good friends now, and I like to give him a hard time. Likes to give me a hard time, and it's been a really good journey so far. And he's helped me out a lot on the track, just with experience. That's one thing you can't teach is experience. So it's so nice for him to be giving me tips and stuff like that at the races, and
saved it.
yeah, trying to take that into Daytona. And I think he'll be coming out to Daytona, so you guys will see him there. And I think he might be there tonight, so we'll see. But yeah, he's been really fun to hang around with, and really grateful to be able to know him. 10:40 left in this final qualifier of the first session of the 450s. Jason, what do you think of this track? It's similar to the last one last Saturday, so you kind of have a feel for it, but a little bit different rhythms. You got some moisture in the corners, then you got some dry, kind of hard pack slick stuff. Overall thoughts, just now that you've been able to see some laps here at Orlando too? Yeah, it's almost. I mean, last week it was hard pack, but there was also some moisture in the ground, and now today it looks pretty dry. It looks almost like the test tracks we had in California. They get really hard pack and slick, and yeah, today it looks like it had a little bit of both. It looks like you have good traction, and then there's some corners where it looks a little marbly on top and dry slick. So.
Oh, I had all these tubes routed so nice, and now I gotta redo it all. I shouldn't have installed these. I wanted to because it felt really good to do, but now I gotta do it all again, and I should have just left the damn bike in pieces. That's okay. It's okay. There we go. Number 2. Distractor. Slower pace now, not so fast, which I feel like kind of suits my style. A little more casual, but yeah, track looks fun. The whoops look big, which suits me too. But yeah, we'll be back out there in Daytona. But yeah, so far the track looks really good. So
really, nice and technical.
you can see
So
the black hoses are coming off, and the red hoses are going on.
riding a little bit outdoors and a little bit of supercross, having that mix is key. And I've really enjoyed Daytona so far. I raced it twice, and first year we had big rhythm sections, which was fun. And last year, track was actually
This
more
way.
difficult last year because it was more outdoorsy than the year prior. So yeah, for me, I'm gonna ride some outdoors and have some fun on that, get that speed back, corner speed back, and yeah, just mix it up a little bit.
Well, pumped to have you
There
here
we
on the
go.
Live again. I'd rather have you on the track, but if you're in town and you're hanging out, come hang out with us. We love it, so we'll let you go now, Chase. Look forward to seeing you in Daytona. Mitchell Oldberg is your fastest in Group C qualifier number 1, and that's good for him. Hopping on that 450, Dan just great. Said he had what, 20 minutes on the bike, and now he's fastest and 18th overall.
He's ahead of McElrath, he's ahead of Marcia, Anstey, so ahead of all the B riders, all the C riders, and up into our A group. So
I gotta lubricate these a little bit.
Hey, this 450 class has been pretty fun. We haven't had Chase in it since round number 2, so
I'm excited to see him.
Don't really
I
have
like
good.
it too.
There we go.
He wants to make sure he's ready, and sometimes you'll just race and ease yourself back in, but he wants to come out swinging and
So,
like, take
I
these extra
gold
races
coated
off,
or
so that extra
titanium
time.
nitride coated my hose clamps, but now they're all dry.
He's got that strength and
So I'm gonna throw a little bicycle chain lube on them, and we're gonna see if that loosens them up.
Confidence. I'd like you guys talking, so I let you do your thing. But I'm curious, man. That momentum from that lead, and then the crash, unfortunately. But out in front of one of the most stacked classes in history, it's gotta be confidence building.
Yeah, and I like what Chase said too about watching the competition. He says he watches Cooper Webb and the way he adjusts.
There we go.
You
That
need
feels
to know
better.
your competition if you want to be successful against him. You want to know who else knows about Cooper Webb?
Go.
The GOAT knows Cooper Webb.
There we go.
Believe it or not, Cooper Webb didn't grow up with the dreams of being a supercross champion. I played all kinds of sports. I went to public school until 11th grade, so I grew up playing every state in Baltimore under the sun, and then being a shaper and a professional surfer. I was kind of really into action sports as well. I have photos of me in the water on a boogie board when I was running around a year old. I want to say 10 months. Until I'd say 15 or 16, I wanted to be a surfer. I would spend more time surfing than I did riding. My dad told me a long time ago he never wanted to teach me how to shape a surfboard because he didn't want me to settle and do what he did. I was intrigued and wanted to learn, and he just said, I want you to find your own success. So I guess it was a good thing that I did end up shaping boards and became a professional board bike rider. I only get out about once or twice a year now. It's hard with our schedule, and hopefully when retirement hits, I can get back to trying to get closer to the
There we go. Oh, that looks great. Oh, I have the coolest hose clamps on the track, as dumb as that is.
But for now, they're in season, and Dan Cooper Webb, as he's elevated, we saw the speed come around in Indy there late. Looks like they're making some changes and getting that comfort with that shock.
I'm gonna move this.
I talked to some people this week about how the race, there wasn't much race action between him and Ken, and they just kind of settled, and they were kind of waiting for something that never happened. But if you're an odds maker and you have Cooper Webb getting out front early like that, the odds are he can probably hold it. I mean, he can, if he's in a battle, no matter if he's in front or back, he finds a way to win. So for him, the odds would be when he's out front, he can hold something like that. And I thought it was a tough challenge for Ken to kind of make that move. Never got close enough to do it. But at the same time, Cooper Webb in those moments and in those final laps when he's out front, very tough to beat.
Yeah, and he mentioned that too. Like he wasn't used to being out front. He's used to chasing and doing so well, and chasing down Ken Roxy usually trying to make the pass. But I think he'd much rather be out front and much rather
Okay,
deal
so
with the problems that has.
let's check these lengths.
Than be behind. He maybe used to
Oh,
be
that's
from behind and making that win happen. But man, either way,
that's a little too long.
And I was so surprised that Ken wasn't aggressive, right?
Okay, how about the top one?
We saw Cooper Webb get around.
Okay, that's closer. That's more like where I need to be.
And Justin Brayton.
So I gotta cut these down a little bit.
Cooper's like, there's nothing to wait for. Let's go. Boom, and did it. And so I was thinking that Ken would make that charge. He eventually got around the corner, but I thought he would try and make a move and wasn't able to get it. And he gave credit to Cooper, saying, man, he was just fast. He was way out there. I tried.
Yeah, a lot of respect after. Gave the knock over the nets, and you see a lot of respect at the top of nets. I think these guys realize that their competition is really, really good at the moment. So for Ken, you got to choose your battles. He decided that one wasn't one where he was willing to risk it. And I think for the championship, it's fine.
They've had some that have not ended so well.
Right.
So when these two come together, it's better
space, and I think it's mutual.
Yeah, and Ashley, it was got to be weird though seeing Cooper Webb kind of make that move early. He's usually so good at kind of being patient, working it out, and then finding a way. But when the opportunity's there, you got to take it, right? He passes both, gets in the lead, and then had to go into a whole new mode, which is that protection mode, where we know he's good when he needs to make a pass late, but he was great protecting as well.
Yeah, and we'll see what he learned from it as well to bring into tonight, because like we said, it's the same sort of footprint, so we have the similar turn or the same turns for these riders, and just the rhythm sections is what will change for them. So for him to be able to cut those corners, like we've mentioned before, he goes really low in those corners. He's so good at that compared to his competition. So see what he brings from last Saturday night into tonight, and also what Ken Roxon can learn from that race. Even though he lost 3 points to Cooper Webb, he's still sitting really strong in the championship. So we'll see what both of these riders bring, and maybe Eli Tomac can throw in something in the mix as well.
He needs to. We talked about it early. This is going to be a 3-rider fight for this championship. Eli's got to get back in it right now. Let's take a break.
I need something else.
Dennis, Florida kid, up and comer. He's part of Team Dunlop Elite. Big fan of this kid. We'll have him here next on Race Day Live.
All right. Don't tell my girlfriend I'm using the kitchen shears on the bike. Don't do it.
This is the same camera you see riders Adam Cianciarulo and Malcolm Stewart wearing. Pull out your phone right now and text GoPro SX to the number 65047 for your chance to win.
So many things to do when you want to shine among the legends.
Alright, let's see. Let's see. There we go. That looks good.
Monster Energy Supercross 4.
Oh, cool. Hi, Mom. My mom's watching. Check that.
The United States Motorcycle Coaching Association connects riders
That's got a lot of
with the
flex
best
in it, too.
certified coaches to elevate their riding experience and improve their skills. A safe learning environment
You don't hear me?
is the first step to good coaching, and all USMCA certified coaches uphold the values and code of conduct of the USMCA. Our coaches have cleared a national level background check and are CPR and first aid.
Hey, is the mic working?
Log on
Can you guys hear me?
motorcyclecoaching.org. Type in your zip code to find the coach nearest you.
Most important lesson my dad taught me was on those days you don't really feel like going the extra mile. You just gotta go out there and do the work. The go time for me is the last half of the race.
Source.
I'm trying to hunt down first place. For a true championship fight,
On your input capture, add source. Add source, device, webcam. Done. Alright, how about now? That would make sense why everyone kept leaving, because you couldn't hear anything, right? Alright, you guys should be able to hear me. If you can't, please let me know. That'd be good. Alright. So this is going to go on this side of the bike. So I'll put that on this side like that. Oh yeah, silky smooth.
Welcome back to Race Day Live, presented by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Beautiful shot on the track there. We're up high looking down, and sometimes you look down, it almost looks like the lights are toys. I know some of the little KTM juniors out there. Check this out, introducing the first ever Supercross toy line created by Spin Master. Every authentic racing brand of the Supercross bike has realistic details, including a metal die-cast motor and forks that make it look like the real thing, all in a fun size. Spin Master toy line includes some of your favorite riders like Justin Marshall, Vince Ruiz, Justin Brayton, we just had on set, Aaron Plessinger, and legends like Ricky Carmichael. The boys bikes
Okay,
are two
so
sizes, 110.
my mom says that you guys can hear me now, so that's good. Let's see.
Look at that. I used to build trucks like that when I was a kid. I didn't have this older toys as Spin Master. I can see.
So I'm just cutting these down the size.
I can see you riding them for yourself when no one's watching, building a little track in your backyard. Oh yeah. And jumping them. And I suspect you'd use the Ricky Carmichael one.
Okay.
That's just so much bait right there. I just want to take a bite of that and say something negative, but I can't. I love Ricky. I'd probably have a Ricky. I did Justin Bray. I have a Justin Bray bike.
There you go.
He would go through the whoops like better than any other. I guarantee you let them all up, you go through the whoops. The Justin Bray model goes really. So, but yeah, get them for my kids.
All right.
I'm sneaking and play a little bit myself.
I think that's good.
Yeah, so let's get to our guest. I really like this kid. He's an up-and-comer here in Florida. His name is Seth Dennis. Let's watch him in action. This is Seth Dennis.
A little bit of extra hose. That's good, I guess. Freaking dropped it. I'm trying to clean it. Just drop it.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay. He's usually on the bike whooping everybody, but sometimes you gotta grab the toy dirt bike, go by yourself and play a little, right?
Yeah.
Seth, how's it feel to be on Team Dunlop Elite for another year? Obviously, you've had a lot of success so far in your amateur career, and I expect there are more results like that coming, but to be a part of that team, is it cool to be back with Dunlop?
Yeah, definitely. Being with Dunlop is, it would be missing if I wasn't on it. And, hopefully they can take me to where my goal is, which is pro.
Well, that's the goal. Okay, so when you watch these guys in Supercross, you're going, I'm coming, guys. You better, if you're all going to be like Justin Brayton and stick around a long time, you're going to see me soon.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the plan now? Last year you were on the 65 and the 85. I follow you on Instagram and saw you ride both, but I don't think I've seen the 65 for a while. Are we done with that machine?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You have to move up to the big boy bike.
Get that 85. How do you like it so far?
It's been really nice. The power's been unbelievable.
The power is the big thing, right? You get on those things, you're like, there's no middle, no weakness. My bike has bottom, mid, top. But what about the size? Again, last year you were sized good for the 65, a little big, a little small, the 85. Are you growing into that model now?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I feel more comfortable on the 85.
And what about your training?
All right.
I know you're out doing sand motos, riding some supercross, a little bit of everything. How's your training been?
I feel like I've been improving a lot lately with the training.
A lot of hard work?
Yeah.
And now, race schedule. Daytona, is that the first one for you in 2 weeks? The Ricky Carmichael race
Oh, no.
Daytona?
Yeah, before that I'm going to do an
Look
area
at this.
at Orlando, and then I'll...
That's not ideal.
Okay, so Loretta.
I don't really know if I have a good way of bending that back.
And then you head out to Texas?
Yeah.
Okay.
I try.
10 to 12 class, but you're the 11-year-old age group, so big challenge for you. You got some older kids to deal with this year. You okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay being the underdog for this year.
And that's good though, because I remember on a 50 when you were 7, you were mixing it up with the 8-year-olds, and then on the 65 when you were 8, the 9-year-olds. So this isn't new to you, right? You've done this before.
No, yeah, totally.
What are the goals this year though? With those older kids in there, kids like Drew Adams, there's fast guys. I know you battle with them. And, are we going for the wins, or is it just do our best, see where we're at, and then next year on your 12-year-old year, just go in for it and try to beat everybody?
I think I'm gonna break this trying to fix it. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop doing what I'm doing right now because I think it's a dumb thing to do. Yeah. Okay. We're just gonna leave that the way it is. That's fine. That's okay. A little bit bent. Everything's a little bit bent. It's an old bike.
Well, Seth, I want to thank you for coming on Race Day Live.
Oh no. The child, you race for KTM, child. You're supposed to pick one of the KTM riders to win tonight. Children, these kids, they don't get it. They don't get marketing. Neither do I. But come on, child. Okay. We're gonna get a little bit of ethanol in that hose.
Really well spoken. He's got a great support team. And of course, Dunlop will lead. You can't get any better than that.
Yeah, they're smart about it. They know these kids. They know the ones that have the potential. And of course, kids that have a good attitude.
Let's move. I gotta move. This tripod's nice because it's super small, but it kind of sucks. Kind of sucks to use. Let's see. Okay.
And the big thing with Clemson here, as we get a chance to kind of watch him a little bit, is just, I think, the comfort with the bike. Again, he said before the season that he needed to be back with a team that spoke his language and really understood it. He said testing, it was hard for him. So to be back with Will Hahn and the Star Racing Yamaha team, they know what to put underneath to make him feel comfortable. And again, what I've seen from him this year is just more aggression. And when you know you feel good on the bike and you're comfortable, that's when you start taking those chances. And for him, just being more aggressive, that's been the key. Last week, he just fought, got back to that sixth, and I see more of that coming this year. He's in a good place, he's comfortable, and he's got that kick in his step again. You know, he's the fun air that we saw in years past, and he truly is comfortable on his bike.
Yeah, he just wants to get to that podium, man, and get those wins like he did in the 250 class and the championship. A little hard in points right now to make that happen, but the cool thing about Monster Energy Supercross, every single race is a reset, man, and racing Yamaha on the podium would be a huge accomplishment for him.
And actually, you got to imagine that he's just building back to that state that he was on the 250. His final year on the 250 was just confidence everywhere. So this is a step back towards that.
Yeah, he felt confident last week out there in Orlando as well. And I think the thing that's going to make the difference for Aaron
There we go.
all of these finishes that we've seen, his career best just a couple weeks ago in Indianapolis.
That radiator hose has a lot of bends in it.
Yeah, I completely agree, and that's kind of one of the things you have to look at when you see this field that we talk about every single week. The start for them, and if they can start up there, it makes a big difference on those finishes consecutively every single week.
Perfect segue into Zach Osborne. A rider who has been, gosh, he's been riding so good this year. You've seen so much.
I kind of want to trim that one down.
Last Saturday, finally gets up front, gets a good start, makes a little mistake, so he loses a little bit of time, but fights back up onto that podium finish, and then we saw this coming, right?
Well, we talked about it every week since round one. Okay.
No, I think it's okay. I'm gonna leave it.
Okay, it's coming. Zach Osborne, watch this. Hey man, you wait, Zach. I can see it, you feel it. It's coming, and then finally, round 7, and he gets together. Beautiful whole shot in front of everybody. Just brilliant riding. And lost a few spots, had to deal with Marsha. Marsha made a mistake in the whoops. He was able to fly on by him. And then took a lot of pressure, by the way, from Marsha after that. Marsha wanted that podium spot, and Zach gave it up. To his credit, man, just great racecraft by Zach, and great defensive riding against Marsha. And man, had to be great for him to get on the podium.
There's no other rider in the class that would rather not get into a one-on-one fight with Zach Osborne on the track too. He is so good when it comes to offensive and defensive racing, and it was a good battle behind the leader. Again, we're watching Webb and Roxon do their thing. Behind that was this Osborne-Barsha battle, and Barsha was trying to get it back from him. He was close a few times, but Zach's a stubborn racer. He does not leave the door open, and if you get him, he can get you right back. He's one of the most, I'd say one of the best reactive racers that I've seen in a long time, where when you get him, you better get away, because he will, within the next 30 seconds, find the spot back. He likes to strike immediately, and it was a good fight for him, and I think now he's probably just got the weight off his shoulders. Like, I got this podium, so now let's put together a run, and I believe we can see that from Zach Osborne. I think we're on the top 5 more podiums, maybe a win for him course of your Orlando, Daytona, into Arlington, because again, this is a sport of runs, and he finally started to turn things around, and I can see Zach Osborne going on a little run here, maybe get another win.
But yeah, it'd be cool to see, and you know, those are two riders that we've seen in the past.
Let's see. We're playing with some camera angles right now. Alright, let's go. Whoop. Over the shoulder can.
Those two battling was just a real treat last week, and I don't think it's the last time we're going to see it.
No, I don't think so either. And Ashley, again, if you're in a all-out fight on the track, Zach Osborne's probably not the one you want to go up against.
But yeah, like you mentioned, he will always answer back, or at least try to answer back. And the thing I noticed about him last Saturday night was he seemed healthy again. If you remember at the start of the season, he had that crash on press day, and it banged him up a little bit. So for him to come out and be in these battles and fight like we know Zach Osborne can fight and get that podium finish, like you said, he's just going to keep building on that. And we have time off
that.
right now, so I think that he'll just get better and better as the body heals and he gets that confidence back.
There's two ways to look at it too. You have the chance to the point pretty far out. You go back just going individual race after race after race, and Zach Osborne.
No one saw that either.
Right here in the middle part of this championship. Let's take a break here on Race Day Lab. We'll come back. We got more qualifying, and Dan, we have Mrs. Universe coming on with us next.
Exciting.
All right, we'll be right back with more Race Day Lab.
Supercross.
BP Racing Fuels has been the fuel choice of champions for decades. Now you can benefit from BP's expanding line of race fuels, lubricants, and performance additives. Check out bpracingfuels.com to see how BP can bring our performance technology to your daily driver and power sport vehicles. Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game.
Looks good.
Pre-order now.
Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Retailer. Distributor. Manufacturer. Product developer. Parts tester. This is what we do. But who we are is something much simpler. We're riders. Like you. Some of the best things in life, like family, friendship, and freedom, we share because we ride. Whether it's track or trails, pavement or dirt, at the shop or at home, we're riders everywhere we go in everything we do. It's the common ground we share. It's what keeps all of us moving forward together. During times where what you do says everything about who you are, we are proud to be this. 100% employee owned and operated, a company built by riders, entirely for riders. Rocky Mountain ATV MC.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Cooper Webb. And I'll be like, so man, Ken Roxon? St. Jude won't stop until no child dies from cancer. But we can't do it without you. Without you. Without you. I'm asking you to get a St. Jude partner code. Go get this shirt. This shirt is safe, and it'll save kids' lives at St. Jude. Get out your phone and send that text to get your shirt right now. We won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Hurry up. The kids are counting on you. You gotta
All
get
right,
the shirt.
close enough.
Check out my shirt.
NASCAR champion, shifting gears.
A little banged up. Not bad. That should work out okay. Should get some trick louvers. Louver's a weird word. Louver is this thing. It's the guard. Goes over that to protect it. I should get some cool ones. These are kind of cracked and broken and screwed up by now. Alright. So what do I need? I need 2 small hose clamps and 1 big one. The small hoses are on the bike. And the big one goes to the cylinder. And I totally forget which side goes on the cylinder at this point. So, good job, Steve. Let me look. Okay, it looks like the short end goes on this. So that's the bigger end goes down there. It's a little long. Maybe I should trim it down. Because everything fit really nice. It's not like I need to adjust anything. Yeah, look at that. It's like a whole inch longer. All right, why don't I'll split the difference a little bit because it's a long hose. It can take a little bit of extra in there. It isn't going to hurt anything. So I'm going to cut it right there. I think that'll be good. And Peacock stopped streaming again. Good job, Peacock. Friggin' stupid thing. Okay. Alright, let's try it again here. We're watching live. Nope. I want to watch Supercross. It's the only reason I bought this thing.
Sleep is a really important part of recovery. An athlete can look at his sleep history and see how that's affecting his performance.
As I've gotten older, I've listened to my body a lot more, and you kind of learn what works for you and what doesn't work for you. It seems like recovery is a little more important.
I think we need some recovery. I'm telling you right now, Sunday mornings are rough, so I need to get on the program. There's Science of Supercross.
All right. Let's move this camera over. Get the other radiator installed. How's that look?
Yeah, channel surfing. Let's talk 250 class while we wait for Miss Universe to get here. Jessica Cooper comes into this series. I would say.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna do over here.
Last year and how he took it to Portner and Fernandez at a lot of different times. He was in that conversation late. Had the injury, so it kind of sets him back. But I have to imagine that he's.
There we go.
Feels he's a favorite in this championship too.
Well, he says he's good. I mean, he says he's okay. He's feeling great. He's been runner-up a couple times in the championship. So for him to be out here, and you saw his qualifying times, not only in qualifying round one, but free practice, he's the fastest out there. So feeling something right.
Yeah, riding great, and obviously coming into the season with some huge goals and aspirations.
Title or bust, I think this year it's obviously for me it's title or bust, but at the same time like I still have other years, but it's really not, I'm not gonna be satisfied, I guess you could say, with third place, second place. I'm gonna be going for the win every time. I want to go for the championship, and if I have that cushion, yeah, maybe a second or third is gonna be okay, but this year it's definitely title or bust for me. So I'm always gonna have that mentality, but even more this year, being that I was runner-up the last 2 years.
I like that, Dan. Again, when you talk about 250 eligibility, he's not pointing out. He's not like getting bumped to the 450 class, so he has more years if he wants to, kind of pace himself into some more titles. But I like the attitude. It's championship or bust. And if you look at the way he's ridden the last few years, and you look at him in his prime and his team, he's right. He can win this championship. And
I don't know if that's the way that goes. I don't think it is. I think it's. I think it's like that.
The only issue was that injury. He talks about it in the press conference, and he kind of hemmed it on a little bit. It wasn't like perfect, but he says, I'm feeling good enough to ride. And so we've seen that sort of and he'll carry on. And, try to downplay it a little bit, but that could be his only issue because everything else is just falling in line.
Actually, he mentioned that press conference too that he didn't lose that much fitness, and to me that'd be the only concern, maybe those last 3 to 4 minutes of a main event. But if the fitness is there, then what's really the weakness?
Yeah, it's to see if he can get that 15 minutes plus 1 lap on these main events with the entry. Later. One thing that he also noted was the schedule for this West Coast is they do have this race this weekend and a whole week off in Daytona, like we mentioned earlier. So for these riders that have the injuries, he's one of them that this works for him coming into the season.
Yeah, he's gonna get that extra week
for is Jordan Smith. Another rider who is probably
The stream chat isn't working. It's supposed to be working.
Championship or bust for Jordan.
Let's play with it a little bit. See
The
if I can get that chat
would,
box.
be huge for me. That's what I've been chasing, for 5 years now.
Settings.
So it's just getting that
Chatter.
championship.
Source.
Like I said, I've won some races. I've been in the hunt a couple times. I just haven't put all the pieces of the puzzle to get it done. So to be on a team like Per Circuit and to be able to get that 250 West Championship would be a dream come true, and really
Visual
help take
settings,
my
font
career to the next
settings,
level.
source.
And it would do just that, Dan. He's been close a couple times. I remember the Vegas Showdown a few years ago, the crazy Joey Savatgy, Zach Osborne finale. Jordan Smith had that thing. He was in the front of that group in that main event and had the big crash there in the front
Working now?
straightaway that cost him the
Refresh
title.
the chat, see if it works.
It's been a rough go for him. He's had some injuries that have held him back, but as far
Oh,
as
wait, I know what it
the
is.
talent, the skill, the people around him, Jordan Smith could and should win this championship as well. He's been close.
He has. He's had 3 wins, 14 podiums, so he's been up there. He knows what it is to be in that circle and to be in
hide
that.
this.
He's
Is
won
my
the
chat
title
pop up?
from 2018, so he's got
Nope.
that experience again.
That doesn't work.
There's so many people, like you said, coming up, rookies,
That
other
kinda
great
sucks.
riders or stars in that class that are trying to take it away from him. But if anyone could be in top contention, he's certainly one of the top 3.
And actually, he's been close. So he knows how to run this championship and get deep into the title, go to the final round.
Hide
He's gonna have
that.
to close it down if he gets there.
We're
But
gonna
there's really nothing
chat.
for his program again except for maybe that off-season
New
injury.
source.
The schedule helps him as well.
Yeah, he did tear his
chat
ACL a
box.
year ago, and then also he had that thumb injury early December, and he got that
source.
procedure done that actually Drew Brees had done as well. And he said it was neat to
source
do
instead.
that procedure because it was something different.
Chat
Zach Osborne
box.
had the same procedure done with
Two.
Lakers with his thumb, and he said it took
Add
3 months to heal.
source.
So for Jordan Smith to be able to heal and be back racing already at round number 1 for the West Coast is pretty impressive. So just a matter of how his body feels and how it'll feel during these main events and at that race pace that these riders reach.
Yeah, and that top 5,
Follow
man,
messages.
it's so competitive. You got McAdoo with Jeremy Martin, Garrett March, big set of this group. Jordan Smith, again, is just, there's this pack of riders who I all think could emerge. I guess the question is, which one's going to do it? We talked to Justin Braden early about
Source.
how round 1, I mean, if it's there, you can take a shot at it, kind of come out and make a statement. I don't know which one of these guys is going to do just that.
Nope, that one doesn't work either. Alright, no chat on the stream today.
There's just so many guys.
I don't know, I'm not that good at this software yet, so I don't really know why things happen.
Yeah,
Here's what it is.
That's Jeremy Martin and Justin Cooper and the rest of the field, right? So it's all wide open, and we haven't seen him in a while. And he missed a bunch of the season. I think last year he got injured, so he torn ACL and missed a bunch of races. So it'd be cool to see him come back. And if you do your ACL right, I've had my left one redone. It can be great. You can get back to 100% just fine. But he didn't mention that at all. He's talking about the issue. So that was the main issue. And again, how bad is it? How much is that pain? Like to Ashley's point, like he's got it's a great operation. It's a new technique. It's like a bionic thumb. That's my words, not really. But it's just really well done. Drew Brees has had his operation like the best of the best, but it was still bothering him a little bit. So much like Justin Cooper, there's still that little thing in the back of his head. Well, this is the issue. But I think that when you get into a main event, the adrenaline kicks in, that intensity kicks in, and your pain receptors kind of shut down. You just do what you got to do to win.
I think the pain kicks in too, maybe halfway through when the adrenaline kind of levels itself out. When the gate goes down, it's so intense for these guys that the adrenaline will take over. But once it settles down, that's when you start questioning everything. My bike, the track, my body, and that's when those things will kind of come up. So for Justin Cooper and Jordan Smith, I think that's the challenge.
Let's get this guy on there.
Speed bump, there's no problem. They're ready to go. But can they handle the last 5 minutes of the main event? Only time will tell. Hunter Lawrence is racing this 250 West Division 2. We got a lot of got to remember, Hunter Lawrence, his brother, is making his debut at the 2021 season. Not a lot of time left. Just 2 races, so he's not a rookie, but kind of sort of is a little bit. Kind of in that weird spot. And of course, he's got his brother Jet, who's been crushing on the East, and now it's his turn here on the West.
Jetson's been killing it and doing really well, so I obviously want to hold up my end of the Lawrence family, rivalry and fans. So yeah, I do want to do well. I want to get some podiums and some wins, and hopefully some better results than him.
Better results than him. And don't forget the showdown in Salt Lake City. They'll get to race each other. But Dan, with Hunter Lawrence, you couldn't be more opposite than Jet. So like that.
Let's.
What are we gonna do? Similarities in their personality.
Of course, I cut it down and I cut it too short, like a jackass. see. We can pull.
Hopefully a full season under his belt.
That's right, and Ashley, again, he's had a chance to watch Jet now race 7 races, so you got to take that experience too when they get back together during the week. He's been learning a lot, not only from watching like Justin Brayton said or Chase Sexton said, communicating with his brother who's won some races this year, that helps him as well.
All right, let's see if that helps a little bit.
Coaching his brother very closely, and we'll have his input on the racing. And I'm going to go off of what Dan said a little bit about Hunter. He had mentioned that his nutrition was really off last year, and when he talked to his doctors and he talked to his team, they were actually surprised he was able to finish those photos and those mains last season. So for him to get that all taken care of and to feel like a completely different person is huge for Hunter, and just build off of that and make sure that he can go the distance.
Do you think it's fair, Ashley, to keep the expectations kind of under control? Again, Jet
Let's see, maybe.
came out and did some crazy
No, I
things
gotta
for
do it
the
up
year.
top.
Remember, he was one
It's
that
gotta
was
go up top.
Landis.
All right, there we go. That's much nicer looking now.
And they weren't great. You could tell he was just getting his feet wet. He's racing his 3rd Supercross tonight, so should we treat him sort of like one of the rookies, maybe a more experienced version of that rookie class and lower the expectations a little?
I think it's fair to say that, and definitely treat him completely separate from Jet, because Jet has a completely different riding style, like you mentioned. They're 2 different riders, and it's just a matter of getting those starts and getting those laps in for Hunter to see what he can do, because he has potential. It's through the roof. I mean, Honda HRC wouldn't have taken the chance with him if they didn't realize the potential is there. So I think as the season progresses and maybe he learns that each lap that he's out there, we'll see a different rider towards the end of the season.
And a good sign he was top 5 in practice already, so obviously the speed is there. He's within a second of Justin Cooper. So Dan, I have to imagine that the Lawrence team are pretty happy with Hunter's debut so far in the qualifying, but then the gate's going to drop and he's going to have to race. That'll be a different ballgame for him, but speed's always the first thing. As Justin Brayton said, you can work with speed. Cameron McAdoo, when you have someone like that, you want to maintain the speed. Well, Hunter's right there in the conversation as far as that speed goes. And that's first down.
Yeah, 5th overall, and now qualifying just around 1, and you gotta get back and get to round 2 of qualifying. But he's got a lot of experience, and he's got experience on his team, and Roxy's team. So that's got to bode well. I think that was it when Jet, we talked about Ken kind of talking to Jet, giving some advice about when to push hard, when to give you everything you got, and when to pull back a little bit and wait and chill. And so he's got this amazing team with this huge background, and Ken, with all the adversity he's been through, I'm sure Hunter can relate to a little bit of that, especially last year, I think 2 rounds in.
Nice.
So
Okay.
to get that, come back.
That's everything's fitting nice.
Up in the top 5,
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch him play out there. I love the opening round of the championship. It's like right when things are kind of feeling like we're settled in, let's start a brand new championship. Let's take a break. We'll go back with more Race Day Live. The Vikes are on the track soon. Their final qualifier of the day here in Orlando when we return here on Race Day Live. Oakley is proud to be the official goggle and eyewear sponsor of Monster Energy Supercross, delivering vision powered by Prism Lens technology and protection for the world's best athletes.
In our family, we take fun very seriously, and that's exactly why we are so serious about safety. Because at the end of the day, it's about creating memories and spending time with our family. We choose to be a part of the fly racing family because of their dedication to safety. As a mother of 2 racers, I believe the fly racing Formula helmet is the safest helmet available. That's why my kids wear it.
Hey, you know who doesn't need op-eds to sell their product? Shoei.
Monster Energy Supercross. I had a chance to talk to the VP of Sales, Bruce Hendel, about the development of their products and catalog. And joining me now on Race Day Live is Bruce Hendel of VP Racing Fuels. Now, Bruce, I want to talk about a few things today. First off, you guys are the official fuel for Supercross. So many of the teams and riders from privateers and factory teams are running VP Racing Fuels. I mean,
kind of wish that faced the other direction.
Teddy Parks deal with privateer.
A lot of consumers know where to find BP Racing Fuels. Maybe it's their local dealership. They might already have relationships in place. But for a new customer who is looking for something more fine-tuned, a higher quality, and maybe they're new, where can you find BP Racing products?
So the easiest thing to do is go to our website, and you'll find we don't actually have a dealer listing necessarily on our website because we have so many different fuels. We have like 80 different fuels. So a lot of times, what we want the customer to do is call us, help them on the technical side, what fuel is good for their application, and then we can recommend a location for them to get. Because not every dealer carries every fuel that we have. Of course, the power sports side of it, there's a majority of the power sports dealers that are out there do carry our fuel, so it's very easy to find. If you can't find it, then obviously we encourage you to follow our website.
Well, Bruce, congratulations on the growing catalog. Congratulations on all you guys' success. I have to imagine that every time Supercross is on TV, you're grinning ear to ear when those bikes are across the finish line first, and you know that you do it. Bruce, I just want to thank you for joining me here on Race Day Live. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. The United States Motorcycle Coaching Association connects riders with the best certified coaches to elevate their riding experience and improve their skills. A safe learning environment is the first step to good coaching, and all USMCA certified coaches uphold the values and code of conduct of the USMCA. Our coaches have cleared a national level background check and are CPR and first aid certified.
Okay, look at that.
Type in your zip code.
That's trick.
Coach nearest you.
Rocky Mountain ATV LLC. Retailer. Distributor. Manufacturer. Product developer. Parts tester. This is what we do. But who we are is something much simpler. We're riders like you. Some of the best things in life, like family, friendship, and freedom, we share because we ride. Whether it's track or trails, pavement or dirt, at the shop or at home, we are riders everywhere we go in everything we do. It's the common ground we share, and what keeps all of us moving forward together.
Ooh, that looks good.
Every time for what you do,
That looks really good.
who you are, we are
Is everything tight?
100% employee.
That's tight.
A company built
That's
by
tight.
riders, entirely
It's tight. It's tight. That's tight. That's tight. That's tight. All right.
Welcome back to Race Day Live, presented by Rocky Mountain ATV.
So,
See the track for getting things
damn,
out of the
those are pretty cool. I'm stoked about that.
Stadium. It's going to be a good one, Dan. You know they're going to bring it. That's what they do. They get faster as the day goes on. And I haven't got into the 49s yet, but it's coming. You never know. They might be able to get it done. How often do you have a Mrs. Universe? Never. Never. We do here on Race Day Live. It's Shannon Ford. Welcome to Race Day Live. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing great.
How was the ride up here? Because I know it was a little bit of a challenge over the last 30 minutes or so.
Yes, they had us circling around the stadium, so but we got her. I got her.
All right. Well, glad to have you on. Daniel Blair, Dan Hubbard, we want to welcome you to the show. And you've been in Supercross for a long time now, but my question to you is, fantasy's coming up for us, so we need the help. Who's your favorite? Who do you think could win tonight? And who's your favorite in this field?
I gotta go with Ken Roxon. I actually bet against him last week because I didn't think he'd still in 4 in a row, and I did pick Cooper Webb. I did put Ken in second, so that paid off for me with my fantasy, but I can't bet against him twice in a row.
I think you got to meet him before, actually. I saw on your Instagram you had been
Yes.
meet him and talk to him, and most of you have pros, but it looked like a cool picture with you and Ken.
Anaheim 2, 2019.
That's awesome. And I think your son, Ryder, this is his first ever Supercross.
This is his first race.
You and your husband have watched you for years, but this is Ryder's first race.
Yes, he's 5 years old, so we left him with a sitter at Anaheim, but yes, this is his first race, and he is very, very excited.
Where did your fandom
So-
of Supercross begin? Again, it's been for a few years now. You've been into
So
it.
I gotta get to the carburetor, which on this bike I can just rip it out of the side. I'm getting my air filter too anyway. So I might as well take the whole subframe off.
He didn't just have me watch. He explained what a whole shot was, what the whole
But
he
I
explained
don't really
all
want to
this.
remove my silencer,
I
the
used to
exhaust
drive
pipe.
watching, and then you get to know the riders, and you get to and then also
So maybe
it's such a family
I'll take
event.
the
You get to
silencer
know
off of there,
families, and you see them come on, and I love watching
off of
Ken
the
and
fender.
Marty and little Griff
I can remove the whole subframe without it, just let it hang out in free space. It's kind of small, so that shouldn't be a big deal.
Not just sit down and watch. You
And
can't
then
but then you talk about the storylines, and again, I'm wondering.
it should be nice and easy for me to. Definitely easy to get the carburetor, and I can do the. I'll just set it on the rear tire and do the air filter that way. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it.
About the kids that are watching, and they're creating their own memories, and they're becoming fans just like you. That's a big part of it.
Let's do it that way.
And I think one of the things I remember is I remember meeting.
Put my bicycle chain move away because I'm done with the hose clamps.
But that's something I'll never forget.
Well, and that's something you can pass on. I know you have to go to vlog, you've been on TV before, and you can take your knowledge now and pass that on to families and moms and dads and maybe kids who aren't used to this or don't know much about the sport. I'd imagine you'll be able to share that passion as well.
Absolutely. So I've been posting about this today and that we're here, and hopefully it'll bring people to watch the sport.
Yeah, it's a nice day today too.
Thank goodness.
This is good. It's actually a little chilly.
My last visit to an outdoor stadium did not go well. That was at Daytona 2012. So.
Okay, I was there.
Born and raised in Florida, she's used to the weather.
Well, thank you for bringing the good weather to this one. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I tried.
And thanks again for coming on
All
Racing
right.
Live. Have an awesome night with the family.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And gets it done again.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. We are ready to get back on
Here
the track now for the fall. Final
All right,
round
I
of
need
qualifying
8
here for the 2
and 10.
division. Justin Cooper, Jerry
8, that'll use extension.
3 right now in the class. Alex Martin 4th, Hunter Lawrence 5th. Then it goes Hamaker, Robertson, Thrasher, Flos, McAdoo, your top 10. But Dan, now the track's changed a little bit again. They've been working on trying to get that pressure mixed in and kind of combine 2 different types of soil into one. I mean, they're the best in the business. The track looks good right there. Right now. Yeah, they got a chance right now to really, really open it up in these first few laps.
Okay.
Group C, again, 3 groups out here. It's just qualifying. If you're new to this, keep an eye on this. We are running 3 qualifying activities for the 2 races and 3 450s, A, B, and C.
You like that start? Just great. This is a very, very fair start. You don't got to be in one spot. Sometimes you're stuck on the inside and you only got maybe 3 or 4 gates, but Blake Silvera comes out from the far outside, gets the lead. And that's proof right there that you can shoot that run. Last week, Ray started from the outside, make the whole shot too. And it's a very fair start. Obviously, qualifying times are important for that gate they play. If it doesn't work out, you can. You make up for it on this track on the start by getting on the outside. You're not stuck. That makes sense.
Okay. We're gonna let that hang out in space. See how that works out for us. Exhaust. I need to get new clamps on my carburetor. That is what it is right now.
So when you see a battle not fully developed, you can't always blame it on the track because you got to look at the riders who are in that position and where they start out and what are the odds that something could change. So I really do think it's an okay track for racing. I think this one will be a little bit better than last Saturday. But man, when you get through the web out front like that, the odds are more than. And so when you don't see a pass, you can't always blame it only on the track. Here's Dominic 30 now, getting back
Don't use this. It's a bad thing. Bad tool. All right.
So soon. What's the balance like with your training?
Yeah, well, we kind of had like somewhat of an off season, kind of after videos last year, like kind of right about now. So I actually started riding Supercross on the 250, just kind of getting some seat time on it, kind of figuring it out. And then obviously like last week,
It's such a pain in the butt.
riding the 250 on outdoors. So ready for maybe spring nationals and stuff like that. That's kind of like where we're going for.
You missed a super mini hill. I know. No, I know you turned the page on that, but dude, you rode that thing so dang good. You don't look at it and go, I miss you, little super mini. No, you said that really quickly. I did like you finished. You did like you said no.
I did it first, but then now I'm kind of looking back at it. I was a little bit too big for it.
Yeah.
Like just kind of, I think once I reached that certain point, you know, I weighed a little bit too much, and like the bike just kind of always acting funny. But and then like going to 125, like 125 is so much nicer.
Let's talk about this rookie class because you're about to do the same thing. I remember back at Monster Cup, you know, Chance Hyman, Gavin Towers, of course, like Ryder B. Francesco. There's this age group of you guys all coming out. Well, right now we have a crazy rookie class too. I mean, how cool is it to see all these guys that have raced each other their whole life now on this big stage, all making their debut at the same night, knowing that you're going to be doing the
That
same
nice
thing.
and clean.
Yeah, I mean obviously between me, Ryder, Towers, Romano, all these guys in the D class, Reynolds in the A class now, like all of us, we're all gonna probably go pro around somewhat the same time. So definitely gonna come and show these boys up that are here now.
That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. So you and your pack are going to take on Jared Wright and his pack soon, right?
Yeah,
The clash of the ages. And then of course the sophomore class, Jaleek's brother. Oh, Dominic Fury goes down right there. So you did nice for the tough block.
The Dunlop tough block. Okay.
That's advice for you. If you're going down, you know it. Aim for the blocks. They're soft.
Yeah.
They're squishy. And they help you take the hit.
In the stumble rope, you spot your landing. You keep your eyes there, spot your landing, look at the tough block.
Or if you want to become Spider-Man, you can like fly right into the net, you can jump and grab on. Yeah, we've seen it a couple times. Yeah, no, but I've already seen today like 3 or 4 people like I've seen them like see they're gonna crash, like they knew they were gonna crash, so they actually aim at the top wall. Yeah, I see like 3 dudes like all go straight into the top wall. All of them actually came out good, so you know they got a little lucky.
If I ever put out a Daniel Blair's tutorial for Supercross, somewhere in the top 5 things
All right.
it'll be 8 for tough blocks when you know you're going down. Yeah. Here's the results for 250.
So I was told
Dominic Fury with that 53.7, so Danny
to
does it
move
again,
the
top
jet
54.
needle
The big difference though is he's now
up
in the
one
top
clip.
12
Look at this jet needle though.
We see this every week. I think the guys are going to elevate. And
It's
he's
like
done just that.
super tiny.
30, making his debut again. The rider from Europe coming over, German rider, and good ride for him. Evan
How do I
Farron
get this
bringing
out?
back
I think I
into
gotta put a
conversation. The opening round of a championship
T-handle
has a lot
down
of
into here.
anticipation, excitement. Same for you.
That's a
you're going
6
to the
millimeter, not an 8.
season. When you do line up, what's it feel like when you finally get to get that first one out of the way?
Yeah, obviously it was probably like a little nerve-wracking, you know, the first moto, but then once you kind of get the first maybe 2 motos out of the way, then everything kind of comes back to you pretty quick.
All of a sudden you feel like you again, right? Like all the distractions and all those thoughts. But what about when it comes to bike setup again? You're at your track, you're riding. Do you ever go to one of these tracks and go, man, I just don't feel the exact same? I know you have good people around you. You have your dad, of course, to make those adjustments, but that's also part of the game.
Yeah, I think definitely my bike has always been like pretty close to like good on a lot of tracks, so like we haven't really had to change that much. I think more not changing the bike, more just maybe changing technique. Like, you know, you go to a harder, more hard packed track, you can kind of be a little more sloppy with your technique, and you know, like just changing your technique versus like changing your bike. You know, like maybe ride more over the front or maybe leaning off the back a little bit more, stuff like that.
Here we go, 250 Group B qualifier number 2, the rookies. Hammaker was the fastest the first go round out of this group. You had Robertson in there, and again, Hammaker was 6th out of everyone, Robertson 7th, Rasher 8th on the board. They were 1, 2, 3. Evan, this is like a race for these guys. They get a chance to go off the gate and kind of flex a little bit on the competition. Obviously, you got the full 10 minutes, but you feel like it's important in those opening laps to come right out swinging and kind of make a statement and kind of start your qualifying session that way?
Yeah, for sure. I watched that Haymaker, I watched Robertson, and they went out and they like established dominance on everybody like the first like 2 or 3 laps of practice, and definitely getting out there and kind of showing everybody like I'm here, like let's go, like
thing just doesn't fit right with the 6mm T handle. I think it's just a little bit bent. I just gotta be really careful that I get all this metal shavings that I'm making out. Alright. That's pretty good. I think I might want to go 2 clips on this because I'm on the top clip. I'm on the top clip. Let's see, I don't really know how to do this right.
Session right now, he's 11:56. Actually, not a great session yet. 52.9 is his best. That was in the first go round, so he's a little off of his best. But it's Hamilton back on top, and Sean Cantrell, 54.4.
Okay, I went 2 clips.
Sean Cantrell back. We missed him for a year.
2 clips on this.
Danny goes to college and then gets the call. Hey, you want to race some Supercross? He says he puts the books away and wants to come back and give it another run.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, and he was questioning whether he'd ever make it back. I mean, that was kind of the thought. Do I go back at all? I got on a ride, and he signed up. He was in school at the time, and got the call up, and yeah, let's do it.
There's Robertson to number 2 on the board, 53.4, so he's still off his best. But he's 7th overall, so sitting good right now in his debut ride. This is the 65, Carson Brown. Saw him last year on the West Coast Division, had some great rides, and kind of was emerging. And now he's back with the same team here in 2021, but on this West Coast by name, but yet we're in Orlando. But at the same time, I'm very excited to see Carson Brown and what he can do this year. Last year, there was a big step for him. He was in that top 10 battling, and it's a stacked class, but he's one of those guys that I can see in that fight and that battle every week.
Yeah, he was in round 1 of qualifying. Carson Brown 5th overall. He's running a 53.5 and 97. So we'll take a look at Brown. 53.5.
Oh,
still holding.
Got it.
So at the top of the board right now, Hammer, 51.3.
It's picking up.
That's the top of the group. You know what else it is? Top of everybody. That's number 1, just past Justin Cooper for the top spot. Out of every. Now again, the A group's coming. They're going to have a chance to top it. But if there's anyone out there who is curious on how Seth Hammer is going to make his transition to Supercross, well, 51.3 fastest out of everybody right now. So it's a good start.
Yeah, take a look too with Robertson on the 67 there at 52.9.
Did I just drop something? Shouldn't be anything to drop. Thought I felt something bounce off my shoe. Oh, that would be a nightmare. This gas is horrible. Uh-oh. What bounced off my shoe?
Ashley, a question for you. You hear the riders talk about hitting their marks all the time, and that is that, right? That's clean landings, being efficient, making sure you hit your spots. I'm sure Robbie's big on that as well.
Yeah, and then also that transition in the corner, especially in this slippery conditions. You mentioned throttle control. You want to make sure you have that transition. When you sit down, get off the brakes and roll on the throttle.
Okay, I think it was just a drop of liquid is what we're gonna hope. What fucking size is this thing?
This is a good run, and I remember watching this kid at Monster Cup a few years back thinking, well, he's going to be good. And then it's cool to see him finally be out here and riding the Pro Circuit
Oh, there we go.
You know, he's had some injuries and some issues over the years, and he thought, hey, is Mitch going to wait around for this? Is he going to continue to wait for this kid? And he did. I mean, he's proven right now that he is for real, at least in speed. We'll have to see when the game drops, but
Okay,
I think
four.
it's a good decision to wait for him to get healthy and get right, because he's got a lot of talent, and he's showing right now that it was worth the wait.
He said that injuries have set me back, but now I'm more mature because of it. So you take that negativity, you spin it, you push it in, and it works well. You know?
410. 410 main jet.
Coach Rob was talking about Seth's great work ethic and how important that is. When you do face these difficult times, what is your word? What's in the tank, man?
Yeah.
When everything's down, and so this kid has impressed a lot of people.
Okay, we got a jet kit here. Let's see.
Also talk about Styles Robertson for the rider that he had coached in his younger years. Another kid with a lot of great work ethic. Well, he's up to number 5 right now, 52.2, so second in this group, but number 5 overall on the board. So we're seeing some speed out of the rookies. I'm telling you, this rookie class is a good one. That you were going to look back 2 to 3 years from now and be like, wow, they all came out in the same year on the same coast. We're talking Hammaker, Robertson, Thrasher, Schwartz.
They got a 410,
There's a lot of talent in this class, and they're all coming out together.
430,
They can be the ones fighting for championships. And you can have
390.
He doesn't have it often, but I think of Trey Kennard, I think of Brian Dungey, riders that came out and were pretty impactful their rookie year. Kennard, I mean, it could barely
And
go.
370. All right, let's see what this says.
I'm just happy we're not doing fantasy 250. I wouldn't even know what to say. What to do. Hey, I like Carson Brown, though.
You did good last week. You called Jen Lawrence last week, I think.
I think I called Jen and Cooper and Kenny one too, so.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. I think you'll be doing just fine. Although you're right, much more difficult here. I think on this one.
I don't know. I mean, where do we put this guy? Where do we put Brown? This kid's got a lot of speed, top 10 last year. Is he back in the top 10 this year? How does he line up with these rookies? How does he line up with a different riders that he didn't get to race with last year?
Okay, so I think the sizes get bigger as they go down.
You've never raced a guy that maybe you raced with your whole life, and then this year you might line up with him. So that's always the fun part of the opening round of the championship, is just trying to figure out where they all stack up. And then usually it takes 2 or 3 races before we fully know. Even Cole Nichols, remember round 1 at Houston? He looked okay. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't
Okay.
special. It was just solid.
Third place, then second, then first.
So it takes a little bit before you really know who's got what and what they're bringing to the table. And for a rider like Styles Robertson, does he come out tonight and get a top 5? Does he make a rookie mistake and get a 15th? I don't know where to put him. The talent's there, the team's there, but until the game drops, you just really don't know where they're going to land. Especially when you have a field like this where there's 15 guys that are pretty interchangeable.
Well, and that's got to be, again, we talk about being smart, right? Like with Max Mullen and not pushing too hard in the beginning. And of course, Max, who was injured.
Okay. 2001 to 2004. Replace the main jet with the 430 main from the kit, riding from sea level to 3,000. 2004 to 2004, the 410 for riding from 4,000 to above 4,000. Okay, so I'm on the 410 right now. I'm gonna bump this up to the 430. We're gonna dump in a little bit more fuel.
So Seth, stay down there on the floor. You might be talking to Ashley, but I have to imagine that Justin Cooper, Jeremy Martin, Jordan Smith are going to find a little bit more right now. Obviously, they all do it. So the question, though, is where? Is it just a game of efficiency from here? You see the times are pretty tight. I don't know how much more raw speed these guys can bring, especially with a slippery track. So it's going to come down to just being efficient.
Yeah, efficient and making sure you're comfortable out here and you're pushing, giving everything you got. Again, avoiding injury. You're right out of the gate. As much as you want to win, as much as you want to be on top, man, it's
it's just about biding your time and making sure again, all the injuries these guys have had, let's get out, let's take our time, get used to it, and start pushing as it goes on.
So let's start pushing right now. This is 250 Group A, the final qualifier for these guys.
410.
Justin Cooper was the fastest the first go around with a 51.4. Now he's gonna have to do a little work. Hammaker with a 51.3 at the top of the board.
70.
Gates getting ready to go down, and again, this is their first race feeling moment of their season. All the work, everything
90.
and now here we go. Look at Hunter Lawrence on the inside. Protection.
430. All right. So we're gonna run sea level settings on this thing.
Hey, maybe this might be his only chance. I don't know. I would love to see him get Jeremy back. He said 2014, the last round, he was coming up in one of the races. I don't think it was her first or second. It was somewhere around 6 or 7. But he was about to get over the finish line, and his brother passed him. So he wants payback, and right now it looks like he's going for it.
7 years he's had to wait for this opportunity to get him back. Now he's got a shot. It's Alex Martin out front. And I like the team that he's on. He goes back to Mike Duclos and some relationships that he had in the past where he found success. You know, it was a tough one for Alex Martin. He was on the JGR team, didn't really know what was going to happen, thought his career would continue with them. Yeah. And then the rug got pulled out from underneath him a little bit. He went searching and found a nice home, and he's happy with it.
Yeah, and he had some help. He had some friends who helped him out with that, but he was coming off of Paula. I thought he was fine, and then bam, nothing. So big issue for him is finding out about the bad luck merge, got together, and 3 teams kind of combining to make it happen. And sure enough, here we go. I love it, man. He's got a great attitude. And I think, you know, we saw his bio earlier where he was talking about his brother going after him, but in the press conference, he was kind of subdued. It was his brother, Jeremy, who was talking to him in his smack. And so he was kind of cool. So it was funny to see both of them go back and forth.
All right. So went from a 410 to a 430 main jet, and I moved my jet needle clip down 2, which is super aggressive. Like, if that's not too rich, I would be surprised. But we're sending it. We're going full fucking send. And get it. Let's make sure this thing's nice and clean. Okay.
250 Pro since 2017, picked up a couple podiums in his career so far. 2019 in Vegas, got a third. 2020 in Salt Lake 4, he got a third. So he's been up there. 2020 he crashed in St. Louis, missed Anaheim 2 in Phoenix. Still looking for that elusive win in the 250 class.
He can get it tonight. It's going to be a challenge. He's going to have to go against this guy right here, too, Jeremy Martin.
Everyone, it's going to be a challenge.
Well, and again, we talk about different riders where, you know, Colton Nichols still has his eligibility in the 250 class. Justin Cooper said he's not running out of time in the class, but it's still make or break for him. It really is make or break for Jeremy Martin. This is title or bust for him, but I don't think he minds that pressure. He wants to go 450. He's on a team he thinks he can win on. He wants to take that next step, and I don't think he's really afraid of that deadline. It's bring it. I mean, let's do this thing and win this title. And he's got everything he needs. Again, he's got the experience. His body's healthy. He's recovered from the injuries. That team is just stacking up #1 plates on the door, so they know how to get it done. There's nothing missing for Jeremy Martin except for the title, and this is going to be a great shot at 2021.
I love it, man. It's so cool to see him ride here, and we know they had issues when they rode together before, that team and himself. Both of them were able to put together, and I think Jeremy Gover approached him today, was going to start talking, and so they got it together, they buried the hatchet, and they're just, I think it's a great match
it's huge for him. It's a huge opportunity for him to kind of restart his Supercross career. And I have high expectations for him. I think he comes right out. He's a top 5 guy. With his work ethic and the way he approaches his craft, I can see him winning races by the end of this championship.
He picked up 13th and 7th last time, and so he needs to push, and 41 would be good back on that armor.
All right.
Yeah, guys, I'm just watching the track develop throughout qualifying now. These guys are really pushing hard. You see this blue crew coming up on the faces of the rhythm section, making it a little bit slippery, and also there's a glare from the sun that's hitting them. So a couple of riders making mistakes in those rhythm sections, but a line I'm really watching, Daniel. You'll remember at Indianapolis, I believe it was the 3rd round there, how they came in that turn to that corner.
All right. Let's swap my gloves out.
Every single time. That's happening right here at the WPS finish line. They're coming into this triple on the inside, and they're barely kissing those lines coming up and over. I mean, it's making me nervous.
Yeah, that's tough, right? Because the corner flows that way, you kind of drift out. And Dan, when you are trying to put together your fastest lap, you try to open the track up. You want to go from out to in and open up those corners. Yeah. So that corner, we'll get to it here in just a moment with Justin Cooper. It's tough because you want to carry momentum that leads you far to the left where you're right against the very edge of the bales. You got to have a lot of concentration and not go too far. And to Ashley's point, when it's slick, you get that blue groove, you don't have as much control over it underneath you. So if you don't do it right here, you can drift yourself wide right to that edge. I like Justin Cooper right there, maybe taking 2 or 3 runs over from the edge, a little bit safer, but naturally that's where the line leads you.
We've seen a couple of riders deal with that earlier in the year. I know Cooper Webb had trouble in one of those corners, cutting it too tight. Dick's Freezy in the same corner and just cutting it way too tight, catching their leg on that and going down. We get a soft landing to your point about tough blocks, but nonetheless getting in the way. So Justin Cooper up on top right now at 51.095.
And 52-0 for Jerry Martin. So in this session right now, the final session before they go racing, which to me is somewhat more important, even if you end up different in the overall because of the overall day, this last one is really the one that matters to me. Justin Cooper is a second faster than everybody.
Yeah, that's very decisive.
That's big. But look at the Yamaha Kawasaki right there in the top 5. You have Cooper, Martin, McAdoo, Martin, Smith, and there's Jalik Swall, Garrett Marchbank, 670s. Alex Martin, that traction right there.
Fuck, my buddy who was watching the stream got in a car accident. I assume not while watching the stream, but that sucks.
A little bit of a traction loss here tonight. It's going to be part of the game. And the 250, I don't think it's as big of a deal because the bike has a little bit less power than the 450, but man, the 450 is going to be tough to find traction for those guys, especially late in that 450 main event.
Yeah, look at number 6, jump through the whoops. We'll see if he can pick up and get up on top. Again, he's got to make up almost a second, right? Almost a full second to get at the 32 of Cooper. So we'll see if he can make that happen. He's going cooking pretty fast there. Fast enough to get ahead of his teammate.
If it stands right now, Justin Cooper would be the fastest. He would be in heat race number 2 tonight. Seth Hammaker, second fastest, would have first gate pick in heat race number 1 tonight. Man, rookie, you go to the gate, your very first one was first gate.
My hands are sweaty and I can't unlock my phone. That's annoying.
Alex Martin, Jalik Swall, Hunter Lawrence, Garrett Marchbank, all behind you.
He was one of those spoilers you were talking about. You got the stars, the rookies, the spoilers, all mixed in. Traffic there for 32.
This is tough for the rest of the competition too. Justin Cooper is a good starter.
Let these hands dry. You gotta see how my Bitcoin's doing. I'm gonna do a buy and sell on it soon. Or a sell and buy.
Justin Cooper is not afraid to come out and get it done early around. The big challenge is can he go the distance 15 plus 1? He's said multiple times. It feels like he hasn't lost that much endurance. So, if that's the case, this is kind of scary. A second faster than everybody in this group.
Another little drop. It's alright.
He can go the distance tonight and get one of those
Not bad.
stars for the top 3. They're in trouble.
Green all over the place today.
He was exceptional, and again, he was the fastest, free practice fastest heat run. One of qualifying and so far the fastest overall in the 250s of what 62 riders. Just throwing down here in Orlando too. And I guess his foot broke his foot not long ago.
He said at one point he didn't even know if he'd be able to make it back in time.
I guess we answered that question.
Yeah. He
Let's set up this camera.
How about Styles Robinson? 7th overall. Riders that rookie class who have been able to get themselves into that top 10. So here
Oh yeah, we're doing full blogger lifestyle. Yeah. This is my bike. I like it a lot. Oh ho ho. This is silly. Ooh, it actually works good. You do blogger life.
With a very impressive qualifying too, Justin Cooper. Now that you had the chance to test out your foot injury at a race pace, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I kind of got to do that before I got here, and just knew I had to kind of give it a shot, but I feel good right now. The track didn't give me more problems than my foot, that's for sure, so really tricky. It's going to be, it's slippery already, so it's going to be interesting to see what the track crew does with it over the weekend.
Let's move this around a little bit.
Pretty tough right now, so good start to the
There you
day.
go.
Got to get good starts tonight, and put myself in good positions to do good.
Well, there you have it, guys. The foot feels better than the track did today. Fastest qualifier in the 250 West.
Thank you, Ashley. Eli Tomek got out front this 450A final qualifier. Dan the gate goes down, they all charge in, and Eli gets the whole shot. So a good sign for him, but you got to do it at night. We've seen too many times this year where he's been in a position where he's had to claw himself out of the middle of the pack. And the way Ken Ross did it for the weather starting, especially over the past few races, he needs to get started like that in the main event. And get himself a shot at this thing. And again, the back's against the wall with Eli Tomek. I'm going to tell you right now, he's my pick for fantasy. I'm going Eli Tomek because he has to. He's got to win this thing. And again, you don't get 3rd, 4th, or 5th tonight. You can be 30 out of this thing halfway through the championship without even any real big issues. And that's not going to cut it from a points perspective. So Eli Tomek's got to get it done tonight, and I'm going to ride with it because I think he understands the urgency. Ashley talked about him riding this week in the snow. Hey, you could easily take the snow day off. Nah, not when you're 29 points down and you need it, Dan.
So that's what it tells you.
I'm going with Eli Tomek.
You know what? All right. Lovely. 9th in qualifying round 1. In his crew.
How about this guy? Dylan Durant just
Number 1
on
in this crew.
rails
In
for
round
that
1.
first qualifier.
Yeah, and that was interesting last week when he got hurt. He had to drop out the race after about laps. And Will said it, he's doing okay. Sure enough, he was right. So here he is again, number 14.
These rubber boots get so stiff when it's cold. Sucks.
He mentioned in his podium interview with Ashley, finally bring that 250 speed. Like, it feels good to be back there talking. You know, and how many times he had to be held back after qualifying and talk to Ashley? And I mean, it happens all the time. For years it happened. And then you go to the 450 class, it's a little bit of an awakening because there's so many guys. So for him, 8 rounds in, to be back up there, he's like, okay, I remember this feeling. And it's big for him. Again, this rookie year,
Okay. Right. What we got? Damn it. I'm so spoiled by the Austrian air filters now. These are so annoying. I hate dealing with this thing.
Well, I mean, Ashley talks about too, Jason Anderson, his ability to ride in these conditions, and it's all about comfort. We hear the riders talk all the time, I'm comfortable, I've got to be comfortable. Well, the soil has a lot to do with that. And if you're Jason Anderson, you get out on the track, you get halfway through the session, you realize like this, you know, I have some old school vibes on this type of soil. I like this type of soil. As soon as you have that feeling, all of a sudden, the next thing you know is you're putting down sprint laps and you're being more aggressive in the comfort. So for Anderson, a little surprising again to be the top of the board right there, but I'm not surprised with his background in these conditions because this is the slickest track we've seen this year. It's been unlimited traction pretty much all year, and now they're having to be a little bit more patient, ride a little more looser, and Jason Anderson, Dan, he's that type of guy.
Well, and adaptable too, right? So adaptable, and to see him up there looking good. And we're going to talk to Ashley, and she's going to talk to Jason Anderson and get a better inside scoop what's going on.
Yeah, his laps just got better and better as he was out there qualifying. Jason, with these hard pack conditions, is it safe to say this is your comfort level right now?
Oh, much better. Okay, we're gonna clean out this airbox. I think that's gonna be the move. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, stepping up here, we'll see how he does. Again, jumping through the woods. 3-3-1. Coming around a massive wall of dirt being built up right in front of Mechanics Road. A little bit short on that one. Again, plenty of time. We've got 10 minutes here in qualifying round 2. If you're joining us for the first time, you've got premium. You're watching qualifying. 2021 Monster Energy Mixer qualifying.
Okay.
Here's a 34.
I could have left that thing. It's perfect. I could have just left it. Look at that. That's okay. That's okay. Oh god, the bottom of that airbox is horrendous. Alright. This all looks good though. Yeah, I thought more oil would have migrated down here. Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah, you know there's a lot of 7 Deuce Deuce fans out there, myself included, so I was able to talk to his brother Tyler and get a little update. His strike took the brunt of the crash and he does have a broken collarbone, a broken scapula, and a lot of pain on the internals of his shoulder. So he got admitted into Orlando Regional Hospital for further evaluations, but we're sending all of our tests on
Alright. Well, no one's watching right now, so it's not really a huge deal, but I gotta go and get my air filter cleaner bucket prepared. Let's see.
a family vacation. It's the atmosphere. Once you get here, it gets in your blood and you want to keep coming.
Monster Energy, Loretta Lynn's 40th. Be there.
Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Retailer. Distributor. Manufacturer. Product developer. Parts tester. This is what I do. But who we are is something much simpler. We're riders. Like you. Some of the best things in life. Like fantasy. Friendship. Freedom. We share because we ride. Whether it's track or trails, pavement or dirt, at the shop or at home, we are riders everywhere we go and everything we do. It's the common ground we share. It's what keeps all of us moving forward together. Every time for what you do says everything about who you are. We are proud to be this. 100% employee owned and operated, a company built by riders, entirely for riders. Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
In our family, we take fun very seriously. And that's exactly why we are so serious about safety. Because at the end of the day, it's about creating memories and spending time with our families. We choose to be a part of the Fly Racing family because of their dedication to safety. As the mother of 2 racers, I believe the Fly Racing Formula helmet is the safest helmet available. That's why my kids wear it.
Most important lesson my dad taught me was on those days you don't really feel like going the extra mile. You just gotta go out there and do the work. The go time for me is the last half of the race. I'm trying to hunt down first place. The free championship fight. Never want to give up.
Alright. That's back. Okay.
Work goes into keeping things simple. We do the heavy lifting, and you're out there doing everything. It's a simple work. Everything around you is anything but simple. There's no need to overcomplicate things. We build our machines tough to outmuscle the outdoors and keep the adventure going. Introduce the new Kawasaki Terrace KRX 1000 Trail Series Special Edition side-by-sides. Your world, your adventure.
Welcome back to Race Day Live, presented by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. 450 final qualifying session running now. We have Justin Starling is down in the stadium, so the riders are waiting to go. 4 minutes left in, and difficult situation again for everybody involved because these riders are all friends as well. So when they're on the gate, they're focused on what they have to do, but at the same time, when a buddy's down, that's a tough thing.
You feel it, and I know that everyone feels it here who's watching as well, and it's a shame. You know, again, the best medical care you can get, they're taken care of, and it's been time and time again where we've had the Alpine Stars medical team in this situation, so they do what they can do to make it all right, you know, and like we heard with 7 Deuce immediately taken care of, and we know what's going on and how to treat them and how to get them all back to good.
Right. And for Justin Starling, he's a Florida guy, so I'm imagining a lot of friends and family are close by and here to see him, so it's tough for him. But in a positive, it's good to have them around you too. I've had injuries in the past where I was a long way away from anybody, any friends and family, so it's tough. But when you're at least home and maybe someone can be here quick with you, so it's another way to look at it. If you're trying to find a positive, at least you have people around you because you're from here.
True
that
that.
make this a little bit smoother for you because it's tough to get hurt, especially when you got to be alone.
Yeah, the crowd cheering, making sure he's good to go. That's good. Road Recovery is another great organization that helps out after Alpine Stars and after the hospital. You know, Road Recovery, a great charity that helps these riders when they've fallen get back on their feet, and they do a fantastic job. And I highly recommend
perspective, right? Brandon Harper, that's a prime example. He got 2 podiums last year in the competition division. Right. You go to the podium division, your mind hasn't shifted. You're no longer chasing the podium. You're chasing the main, and then once you're the main, you're chasing the top 15. It's putting it in perspective and really recognizing that the situation is different, so the expectations and goals have to change, and that's what's really hard. Dylan Travis, prime example. Fastest qualifier, what, 20 times on the 250? Yeah. Gets into the 450 is like, probably, I mean, that's just a weird feeling because he's so used to it, and now this year he gets it for the first time in his career and he's blown away, where last year he'd have freaked out if he didn't get it. So it's all about perspective and expectations and learning how to adjust and learning how to reset your expectations. Tyler Bauer's prime example. I mean, he's a dominant arena cross rider. He's won a supercross before. You have an injury, you have some changes in your life, and you're obviously, next thing you know, you're in a different place. You have to fight through that battle to get back to where you once were. It's all about that reset. How do you handle that reset? That's really hard for riders to do, especially with him. When they taste the champagne, it's very good.
Yeah, he's a big advocate for all privateers, and he works really hard to be out here, man. He's put in so much work into Supercross over the years. Just a one-man show that keeps pushing and pushing. It's about proof it, it's keep it alive.
Anstey's back to the top of that 53.3. Ray was a 53.3, and Bowers was a 53.3, so they're all sitting there around the same time. Place with a 53.6, and that's your top 25. So Anstey's 22nd, Ray's 23rd, Bowers 24th, place in 25th.
It's not a track was rough before. It's fun now, right? We're going to have a bit of an overhaul with dirt works coming out after the C class for the 450s. But still, it's just, I mean, maybe Ashley can keep an eye and see what's changing out there and anyone's having issues. But
I've got a question for Ashley too. I know we're in Orlando, we're on the complete other side of the country, but it kind of feels a little bit like Anaheim right now. We have half the stadium in the shade, half the stadium in the sun. It's hard packed, a little slick, got some ruts. It's got a little bit of Anaheim vibes down there.
Yeah, Dick, I just stole my exact thought. I was just wondering, actually, when the sun goes down in Anaheim, we see the moisture come out of the dirt often, and I was curious if the same thing was going to happen here as the humidity goes up once the sun stops baking this dirt, and they'll probably even sprinkle some water down once they go to track maintenance. So I'm right there with you. I'm feeling like Anaheim vibes here, especially having this West Coast kickoff tonight as well.
Well, and especially the shot we saw of Alex Ray that hit by you. You're on the podium right there, so right in front of you is that rim section. Heading into that corner, you can see the sun just on the side of the stadium, kind of blinding it. That's tough, Dan, because you're tripling into that corner. You can't really see it. I remember being in Anaheim multiple times where there's a rhythm section. I'm like, I can't see the lip. I guess I got to trust myself. That's a huge challenge when you're dealing with that sun coming down. And again, we're outside now. We've been inside this whole season until we get to Orlando, so a little bit of a different vibe. But for Max Anstey, that 53.3 is going to do it. He's the fastest in this group. Then Bowers, Ray, Clayson, and Noren. Hargram, Cross, Gardner, Schmidt, and Jeremy Smith rounding out the top 10 for Group E of the 450 qualifiers, their final run. And now we'll look at the C group. Again, it's time to focus on that top 40 like we did a week ago. Right now, it looks like Devin Raper is sitting in 40. So there's guys like Schlosser, Politelli, Morant, and Tignap obviously out. Winners from Greco. All on the outside looking into this top 40. They're going to have to make some room now.
yeah, Morant from stepping up in the class. He's such a good dude. So fun to watch, listen to him. Great representative for all his sponsors. So it's in the 85. All the work to do is 3 spots out of that fast 40. But of course, they haven't had a chance to ride this track. But then again, it's really good.
I mean, it's that balance. We talk about it all the time. It's the balance of traction and no traction. And, you know, as a rider, you're somewhat programmable. You're programmed to attack. Now you're running on a track that's a little skaty on top, so you have to be patient. You can't push the front end. You can't, over attack with the throttle. After you've spent how many months just attacking every inch of the track, now you come to a track where you can't really do that. Yeah, there's something to be said about your prep too. I remember in 2009, getting ready for the Las Vegas Showdown, I knew it was going to be dry. I knew it was going to be slick. And I would go to the Honda track at the very end of the day when everyone was gone just to ride on the track and it's both beat up. It was just dry and there was potholes everywhere. It was not ideal, but I did it because I wanted to feel good in the main event. And sure enough, you go to Vegas, the main event, it was dry, it was
him step up into the 450 class. He's already overall 20th in the 450s.
He's right there with McElrath and Barsha and Chisholm and Anthony. Really good handling. 20 minutes he spent on the bike before this.
That was it. Yeah,
We're talking about the power. Chase Sexton talked about the power of the 450 and how it's hard for him. Mitchell's had 20 minutes.
Yeah, actually, I was able to talk to him on our flight home. We both went to DFW last weekend, or 2 weeks ago, excuse me, from Indianapolis, and I mentioned, do you think he'll step up to the 450 just to get some experience there? He said, no plans of that now. So when I saw him earlier, I said, I thought you were doing the 450, and he said, yeah, I was here spending some extra time with my wife and our son here in Florida, just enjoying the weather, and Wednesday came along, and unfortunately, Brayton had that crash, and they offered it to me, so I got 2 days in, 20 minutes on the bike, but I feel really good, and I said, hey, one thing for sure, you're going to get a great start, because he's been nailing the starts on the 250, and with his weight, and he said, I figured out a couple things, and I said, do you have any secrets you can tell me? He said, nope.
We'll see, he's got it, and we'll find out, we'll grill him on it and find out what he's got, but yeah, a couple minutes on the bike, and you can see him even over jumping some stuff a little bit. He's figuring out that power, man, but Mitchell Olberg is a really good starter, and that new 2021 Honda 450, Ken Ross has proved it, Justin Drake proved it, Chase Sexton at Houston 2 proved it. That's a good machine. So if you're a bettor, you got some friends around you, maybe you throw out a bet that Mitchell Olberg gets a good start in this race tonight, because checks all the boxes.
Chances are it's going to work. Yeah, we saw a second at 282 at Theodore Poly a minute ago with Con Him on that Mad Parts Double Eagle MX and Veritech Kawasaki, and he's got the 88 and Carnow, his teammate up here, competing against him from the 250s.
What's up, Joe? How you doing, man?
Olberg still on top of
Getting it with the toothbrush.
and way out in front.
Yeah, he's 53.3, but he's 52.4 was his best the first one, so he's got a ways to go if he wants to beat his own time. So he might be stuck on that 20 spot unless he can find a little bit and make a run McElrath, Barsha, and receiver right in front of him.
Yeah, these two guys, here's Bubba Poly here. He is the USMCA coach.
Is the audio
A
working?
little bit of competition here between himself and
No, I actually know the audio is working. I might have to pull up the stream on my phone. I hope it's working. Joe, if you can hear me, comment. Or whoever's watching, if you can hear me, comment. I would appreciate that.
So it'd be fun to see these two battling back and forth. 56.071 for Bubba Poly on the 282 Mad Parts bike, 55.92. So he's off there.
Little mistake. Look how close him and Carnow are. That's 0.1 between Poly and Carnow. Now the leaderboard shows Devin Draper still at 40th. So Schlosser, who's had a really good run on the Jupiter East. Kevin Moran's another rider who's had a fantastic Jupiter East. They're sitting right behind, and they're going to have to find something here. They're going to be watching the races tonight. And obviously, if you sign up for the 450 class, you want to make that nitro, get that experience, get those gate drops with Eli Tomac and Ken Roxon, but also the financial aspect. You don't make the money after 40. You got to get in that top 40. Kawasaki pays if you're in the top 40. So it's very important for these riders to make that nitro. But for a lot of them, that's how they fund get to the next race. So if you're 41st and 45th right now, you're running out of time. You got 4.5 minutes to make a run of this thing. Otherwise, you miss out on the race experience and you miss out on the money.
Yeah, so Devin Draper right there on that motor, where Schlosser Moran's trying to pop it, get inside, push Ben Mark Draper out. Cole's out of the race.
Hunter Sales 55.5 in this one. He had a 54.5 in his first one, so he's safe.
Alright, no one's responding to me. I'm going to check my stream audio.
37, Mackler 38, Van Mark 39, and
Nope, every app except for the one I want's open.
Let's stay on him. See if he can cut the time needed to get in that top 40. Oh, we're going to tell you what. Let's stay on him. Looking inside here. That time needed to get in that top 40. You can see right.
Alright, I think my stream audio is working. Alright, I think my Yeah, it works fine. You guys just aren't responding to me because you're a bunch of chuckle fucks. Camera 1, camera 2. Chuckle fuck on 2, chuckle fuck on 1. 2, 1. Need another glove. So, I guess if people are watching, I might as well narrate what I'm doing. So basically, this air filter oil is great, but it just builds up over time. And I'm just taking the opportunity to clean my air box out. So I got a little toothbrush, and this bucket is, I'm cleaning air filters in it. So it's got it's a biodegradable air filter oil with a little powder solvent. So I put the solvent in the bucket, and I'm soaking my air filters in there, and I'm just using that same solvent to scrub out some of this oil that's all over the place. And then I have to clean the whole inside of the air boot and that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit of a process, and I don't do it all that often because it's annoying and it's not really necessary. But the whole point of me doing this was to end up with a brand new bike. So how am I going to have a brand new bike when the inside of my air box is all dirty? So we're going the extra mile. It is the time to go the extra mile on this motorcycle.
There's a lot of them. Those are the ones, the top ones I got on my list. So 38.5s, 38 right there. Look at that. He did it. He was listening.
He did. That pushes now Devin Raper out to 41st.
Here's the wire brush. Let's get a little bit more aggressive. A little more aggressive. Gotta be gentle with this one.
He's sitting in 40th. He's stuck with his time, so no chance to improve. So now it's just can Schlosser or Greco make a run on Van Barton or maybe Mackler. Here's Hunter Sales. He is in a good spot, 34th and 54.5, so he's safe.
Yeah, and all the Van Bart's guys, I think are in. John Cross up there in 32nd, Logan Carl in 31st, and Peter Polly hanging around at 37th spot. And it looks like there's 3 people that could potentially get in.
And there is Schlosser right there. This is his last lap, 13 seconds left and it's over, so whatever he does here, he's going to have to lift it. Can he get up there to 40th? Van Martin at a 55.2. That's 40th. Schlosser's best at a 55.3. He just got to find point 1, but lap rider in the way a little bit. You can't let it affect you. Keep going. Make up the difference. Hey, if you lose point 1 right there, you got to find an area to make up the point 1. Can he do it?
Yeah, Justin Randall a little bit this way, didn't mean to move right out of the way, but
oh, he gave up. Not gonna get it.
Frustrating.
Anyone left in a hot lap? It looks like there's maybe 1 or 2 riders left, but it might hold for Van Martin.
It looks like it did.
55.2. One more guy. It looks like over. He's the only one that really this last lap was already in, so I don't see a change here.
So Rand's able to push Raver out of the top 40.
Now here's this group. This is Mitchell Oldenburg with a 53.3, Carnell Moran. So those 3 are going in. Now Hunter Sales is also in. And so is Theodore Pauly. Because their qualifying times for their first session did it for them. And you guys usually always find a way to improve and cut their time, but sometimes track conditions don't allow it. So that's why it's so important. If you don't put it down then, maybe the track doesn't allow you to get any better. So for Pauly and for Sales, they got it done earlier. That's how they got the job done.
Pretty exciting. I'm excited to see it. It's cool to see Carnell up in there for Matt Barnes, Double Diesel MX, Veritex, Kawasaki.
Get those extra laps.
I love it. Yeah.
And use this opportunity to learn more about yourself and your bike. That way, when you go to Salt Lake City, you get back to 2 Ds, you can make some improvements needed. Sometimes you want to go back to the house and work on things. Sometimes you want to race yourself into those improvements. So a huge opportunity for them, Hunter Sales, Kevin Morant as well, to get more seat time tonight, racing against Ken Rocks and Cooper Webb and Eli Tomac.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that, man. That's pretty fabulous.
Fantasy time. Should we hear from the experts?
I need like an extra stiff toothbrush. It's so hard to find extra stiff toothbrushes.
She waits till the last minute to put it all in print, so we'll get to her in a moment. But yeah, let's just hear from the experts.
Alright, this is looking pretty good. Pretty clean, at least on the seat.
Now look, we saw Cooper Webb have a convincing win last week, but interesting stat that we dug up. He has not won back-to-back rounds since round 6 and 7 of 2019. So we're coming up on 2 years. Can he back that one up tonight? That's a big question mark because a lot of people put him for first. Christian, what about the wild card tonight?
I mean, those are crazy stats. We looked at 13th, and Tomac, Barsha, and Scan have already taken 13th this year. So as if 13th place isn't hard enough to pick already, do we have to consider top guys at this point? Or what are the riders that are standing out to you guys for that 13th place position?
So Daniel, 13th. Ashley, 13th place. Who's your wild card pick for tonight? We want to know.
Guys, you're going to have to be a little bit more patient because we want to take a look at the results. Pulp VR, 450. That's a lot of points. I don't know what I actually have. I have to look it up because I went back and realized that I nailed a few of these.
You did good. Yeah,
that's not especially. I think I called the winner 4 out of 7. So if you're Eli Tomac right now, you're hoping that that trend going. Because I'm going with Eli, but they're saying Ken Roxon gets it back. Mrs. Universe said that Ken Roxon's going to get it back. Cooper Webb, Eli Tomac. That podium, I get it. That's the best odds right there. It's going to be one of those threes. But they got Eve Wilson with a wild card in 13. I like how they have Osborne in the top 5. I got him in the top 5. Barsha, I don't. Kind of got banged up earlier today in his qualifier. Didn't look like he handled it very well in his time for that regular. So I'm not with that. But obviously, they made those pitches before we started today. Dan, you want to go first?
Have you guys talked me into Malcolm Stewart in third?
Well, stop. Ashley,
I'm pretty sure it was you, Jeff.
yeah, I talked to us and do it. Thank you. But they illiterate.
Okay, this be all right. I am going Eli Tomac. Hope springs eternal, and so Eli Tomac to win it. I'll take Ken in second, Cooper Webb in third. Who else do I have? I have it right over here. Zach Osborne in fourth, and I am going to stick with Malcolm Stewart. Let's go with 5th place for Malcolm. And the wild card. This is wild. I know this is wild. Max Anstey.
Max Anstey. Okay.
Yes. Room for Max at 13th spot. I'm gonna run back now.
Actually, I like to be different, but this guy just read my list pretty much. I'm going Tomac, Roxon, Webb. Eli needs it. I got Osborne at 4th, so we're the same there. But I'll go Anderson with 5th. I think that speed translates to a top 5. And then I go with Brock Tickle in the wild card for 13th. Ashley, what about you? What you got?
All right, similar. Tomac for the win. Anderson for second. I'm taking a risk there, just knowing how comfortable he looked in that last night of qualifying. He kept getting better and better. Then I have Webb in 3rd, Roxon 4th, Osborne 5th, and my wild card is going to be Benny Bloss for 13th. I was feeling really guilty about Roxon, but I just don't know. I didn't see much in qualifying.
Yeah, he didn't look as, I don't know, especially the second one. He was okay in the overall, but actually that second one, he was barely in the top 10 maybe, so, but he's going to get that start. You never know when the game goes down, but it's going to be fun. But we all took Tomac, huh? I mean, he has to. Actually, he has to, right? I mean, again, if he wants to win this championship, it can't trend that way anymore. It has to trend back. He has to get back with those guys, right? It's got to happen tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking for a win, at very least a podium, but for my fantasy, I really want that win.
Okay. It was a good qualifying day. I had a lot of fun. Let's sneak in some 250 fantasy. Where do we go? Where do we go with this? Ashley, I'll go to you on this one first. I don't think we can be wrong with our predictions because it's all over the place. But what you got?
I've seen success from Justin Cooper, and we've seen success in Anaheim, so we were talking about the similarities. So I'm going with the fastest qualifier today, Justin
Race Day Live. Qualifying is complete, so we'll move on to the night program. 7 Eastern, it's going to be a good one. You can watch on Peacock. You can watch on the Supercross Video Pass, your international supercrosslive.tv, and of course on NBCSN. Dan, we've had a good run here in Florida. Orlando's going to be a good one. I like the track. I think it's dry. It's a little slick. I prefer that kind of racing, especially when I watch old videos. I love going back to the 90s videos and seeing that dry, slick track where traction is a premium and these riders make a lot of little mistakes. I love it, so I think we're in for a good night of racing. This track, I think, is going to help.
I can't wait, man. We're going to take over here and handle the night show with Ashley, myself, and Tyler and Ignap, and I'm looking forward to a great race. We had a blast last week. We're just going to do it again. Florida keeps delivering.
It does, it does. And then we have a week off finally, get a little bit of a breather. I don't know about you, but I'm doing nothing next weekend. So any of my friends and family watching right now, that you're watching right now, let me tell you right now, next weekend I will not be available. I'll be sleeping for the weekend. But then we go to Daytona, so we'll be back in Florida. Then any residency in Arlington, and again in Atlanta, 2 in a row. It's going to be awesome. Go to Salt Lake City to close out this championship, and it's going to be a good fight to the end. The 250 West starts their championship tonight. The 450 battle continues. Cooper Webb, Ken Roxton, do they go 1-2, or does Eli Tomac step up and change the course of this championship? We find out tonight on Peacock Premium, supercrosslive.tv, and of course NBCSN. Have fun tonight. This was Race Day Live. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, let's get a.
My name's Aaron Scott. Everybody calls me Scott. I've always wanted to open the stream with that, but I've resisted the urge to do that until just now, apparently. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Thanks for joining me. This is your daily Patreon stream. I leave these streams public. I hope. Hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah, it is public. Okay, good. I leave these streams public while I'm streaming so that if you're subscribed and you've clicked the bell, you can come get a free stream even if you're not on Patreon. I don't want to put everything behind the paywall, right? Like I want to mix being able to survive and live with, free content, free stuff for you guys. I'm not even bothering to turn on my
Kinda.
wintertime, the sun is brutal, so I don't even make an attempt to have this room look good during the daytime, but that's okay. Somebody asked on the stream yet. Oh, hold on. Let me pay some bills. CiatiFPD.com has a million different ways that you can support me. You can join the Patreon page for $3 a month. That's 10 cents a day, and you will get daily streams. The replays of this stream disappear from public, but there's a link to them over on Patreon and in the Discord channel. There's a bunch of affiliate links. You can just click those before you do for free money. It's literally free money for me. Every time you do an Amazon order, a Get FPV order, Omagod.com, FPV Crate, a bunch of others on there. If you somehow remember to click my link before those orders, I will get 6% of that order for free. It's just found money. There's a Fiverr store in there. I can work for you, teach you how to fly better, teach you how to tune better, spec out your builds, all kinds of good stuff going on over there. An Etsy store with a whole bunch of stickers. The stickers are expensive because the point is that you're supporting me and then just getting a sticker. So yeah, don't bug me that $5 is crazy for stickers. You're supporting me, that's the point, and then you get a sticker for free, essentially. And Teespring with some really cool t-shirts that I'm going to switch up a little bit over there. It looks like there's like standard, and then there's like a little bit better, and then there's premium. We're on the little bit better right now, so I'm going to move it down to premium, because I think the premium is the next level, the shirts made by the company Next Level, and I really like the way they fit. Chomper remembered to use my affiliate links today. Thank you, brother. Very, very cool of you. Stuck in Trees loves the shirt. This is one of my favorite Stephen Hawking's quotes. Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. And 2021 has been a lot of change for me. So yeah, hopefully I'm intelligent enough. Zach says, why is there half a quad next to your door frame? Most of the rigs up there are blown up. So yeah, that's a rig that I gave away. I gave away a working version of this in a giveaway a long time ago, and I saved the broken arm, the two broken arms that I had, the broken base plate and the broken top plate for the wall. There was a time when the wall was filled with quads. They were all broken. They were all like prototypes or broken or whatever. I've kind of slimmed that down quite a bit, but yeah. Cool, caught up on chat. Yeah, so on the stream yesterday, or the day before, somebody said, what's a day in the life of Ciati look like? And I explained it on the stream, but then this morning, when I was thinking of what to stream about today, I thought, hey, I'll throw the stream camera, I'll throw the live stream on when I'm just doing the stuff that you guys typically don't see. So fair warning, this will probably be the most boring stream ever, but hey, I stream every day, and eventually I run out of ideas. So here you go. Here's your daily stream. Fill the chat up with questions. I will gladly do, Q&A. But yeah, I'm just going to be like knocking out some what I refer to as admin stuff. Yeah, first things first. I'm going to try to fly Golden Hour here today because it's gorgeous out here in Atlanta. So I've got to get a couple of batteries on the charger, and I do that over there. Let me make sure that my pants are pulled up so that I don't moon you guys. And hopefully the microphone picks up my voice. It's probably going to be very echoey, but that's okay. And I'm going to try to also kind of like talk you guys through this. There's much to talk through with charging, but so the plan for flying today, on camera here. The plan for flying today is going to be more testing with the high-speed rig. So big batteries are going on the charger, and they're going to go yeah, there's that. Couple of smaller batteries here, a couple of 1000 mAh 6S's, and then the big boys, 2200 mAh, 1800 mAh, and 1600 mAh over here, and 1400 as well. I'm actually really hoping that the fail is my pyro drum order, because that means I've got a Tattoo R-Line 1400 mAh 6S, which I'm really hoping is going to be like the battery for this guy here. These 1800s and 1600s and 2200s were an experiment, but they're just way too heavy. I mean, it's just crazy how heavy they are. It's a high-speed rig, not a long-range rig, so runtime isn't that much of an issue. It's all about performance. And these massive, heavy batteries just kill the performance of the quad. Like, just going into corners, it doesn't want to turn. And that's not good, just because it's got so much weight, so much fatness. The problem with the lower mAh batteries, though, is that they typically don't have the, they kind of can't keep up. They sag down so badly that that you can't really run them super hard for more than like a half a second at a time. And that's no good. So I gotta basically find, what I'm trying to figure out is what the mAh that I can get within reason. This guy. So 15 amps.
Alright.
15 amps starting. Away we go. And I just farted right in my own face. So there's that. In the chat, Zach Silvestri asks why we got that. Huckleberry says hello. Stuck on Trees likes the shirt. Huckleberry says you should do a vlog, a day in the life of CIDFPD. I mean, this is wow. Yeah, I mean, this is. I just don't have time to do edited videos like that. They just take way too long. And on YouTube and in the world, Jesus, it's too much. On YouTube and in the world, there's very little value to really good edited content like that. All content is completely disposable. Nobody ever watches the same thing twice. So it makes a lot more sense to put as little time as possible into your content, and then put as much content up as possible. I know that's not great for you guys, but it's just the situation that all of us content creators are in. And to try to go against that is a terrible idea, unfortunately, because you just, yeah, I mean, you're only screwing yourself over. So, yeah, that's never really going to happen, unfortunately, Huckleberry, but yeah, this is as close as I can get you to that. Stuck in Tree says, when you waterproof your quad, do you need to do anything with the MMCX connectors on the VTX? I have no clue, Stuck in Trees. I don't waterproof any of my stuff. They're fairly waterproof, like, without any effort. And I just don't do a lot of flying. Jesus Christ. I just don't do a lot of flying. I just make it a point to not do a ton of flying. I don't make it a point, but I just don't have the opportunity to fly around water all the time. So, Athix was pissed today, flying Baby Tooth, Ishi now on it, couldn't fly 10 feet away, found out it was in pit mode, that's super annoying. Copter612 says, and I just farted in my own face, during his quote. Maniac FPV says, what's up? Drowny5 Smith says, my whoop is aggressively yawing when I do a power loop or just aggressively flying. What's the fix, my main man? I have no clue. You gotta give me more than that, brother. Message me on CIDFPD, tell me like when it started, the full setup, Anything you can, the big thing is, when did that start? If it's always done it, then it's probably just a whoop being a whoop. Yeah, tell me everything you possibly can, and maybe I'll be able to troubleshoot that. Whoops are rough. The flight characteristics are pretty awful. What's up? Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're the goddamn best. Oh, it's too late. Damn it, this isn't the package I wanted. Wait, yes it is! Hey! Thank you! This... Well, actually, hey, here's a test for you guys. Here, just in case anybody's wondering why I'm putting that up. Check out the echo. Let's sit here. Check out the echo, right? There's a bunch of echo right now. Echo, echo, echo. Echo, echo. Now, listen to the difference. Sound deadening doesn't have to be expensive. Any kind of fabric works. Right? Sitting in the same spot, echo, 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 echo. A little bit less, right? Apparently it's very dusty. 95 says it's when I have a heavy battery in it. Yeah, that's just whoops being whoops, man. The yaw axis is the yaw axis has the least authority, so it's the weakest axis. So on a tiny whoop, like I've talked a bunch about on these streams, the number one, like in the list of problems, at the top of that list for tiny whoops is a lack of power. And the yaw axis being the hardest axis to manage, it requires the most power. So yeah, that's the issue. 0802 25,000 kV motors are your best bet. And you'll be going gold batteries, either the 250s or the 300s. That's kind of all you can do until we get like an 0902 motor maybe. Although, yeah, I mean, for the most part, you just sort of have to fly around it. Because even going to like an 0902 motor, it's just going to kill the battery life. Like tiny whoops are in a really rough place in terms of performance, because we really can't add any weight. Like they're at the weight that they should be. I mean, hell, I would like them to be even lighter, to be able to accurately fly down hallways that are like this wide and shit, you know? So yeah, it's really difficult with the tiny whoops. Hydrogen box, let me not face the address towards you guys. We've got some of the what are these even? I got more of the 5552s in black for the high-speed rig. That's one of the reasons that I needed them. Most importantly though, I've got some LED props. I need to get the batteries, but these are the version 2 GemFan Moonlight LED props in red. So I'll pick up some batteries maybe on my way back from flying if I can remember. I won't remember. And here it is, brand new Tattoo R-Line version 4.0 6S 1400 mAh battery.
Alright, I just gotta let this sit. I'm fucking starving. So I'm on the stream. Goodbye, and nobody who's watching.
A fair price.